Welcome, everybody, to Chalked Cast number 13. I can't believe we made it this far. There's a bunch of stuff that's happened since the last Chalked Cast. I'm pretty sure it has been 3 weeks since then. We have the new season announcement, new RLCS season, that is. A bunch of roster moves, and we also had NA quals happen this most recent weekend. But before that, we have our special guests, Joyo and Noly, here with us today. As well, that's the word I'm looking for. As well as my co-hosts, CJCJ and Johnnyboi.
Hello.
Good to be here.
Hello, everybody. Did Rizzo get the audio right? Is it sounding good?
I think so. I think I did get the audio right this time. I didn't boom it. Also, somebody did already mention for me to turn stuff down. I'm actually turning it up because everybody complained that everything was too quiet on YouTube. So I've blasted a lot of the volume. So hopefully it is good and sounds loud. Just turn down your own volume. It's just, you just got to use the slider. Anyway, first and foremost, we do have, like I said, Joyo and Noly here. Roster moves. Roster moves was a big thing going into this offseason. So many things happen, and Noly even moved to a brand new country.
I did. New continent. Yeah.
New continent as well, yeah.
You want to elaborate on it?
No, honestly, at that point, I was hoping Johnnyboi would just take over, but yeah, I could elaborate a little bit.
I wasn't sure if it was a question. I was waiting to hear.
Yeah, I was confused. I was silent. I was like,
left everyone in suspense.
Still working on this hosting thing. Yeah, but
I
anyway.
was like, is Rizzo using like a soundboard? Was there a round of applause sound like effect there or something that he's just not hearing?
I was waiting for the laugh track to go through. It just was bugging out a little bit.
Track. Why would a moving region be a laugh track? You need to elaborate on that actually.
yeah, why is it, Rizzo?
Anyway.
Making a nice situation.
No, what I was going to say is Noly made the move from EU all the way to the NA RLCS region. He's currently residing in Canada, I believe, right?
Yep, Toronto.
And how was that move for you? How has that been?
So stressful. I mean, getting over here, I lost my suitcase, for the third time.
You lose your
Oh my
suitcase a
God.
lot, actually.
Quite
a
often,
lot.
yeah, which is very concerning.
Is that your fault then?
I mean, I was going to say, it
I've never
happens,
lost my
but
suitcase.
How
it
could it be
happens
my
to
fault?
someone every event, but Noli, I think you've lost like 3+ at this point.
Hasn't it been every time?
In the past three times I've flown, I've lost it 3 times, yeah.
And there's one thing that's consistent with all those like trips. Like the airline might have been different, the airport's
Yeah, the
different,
airline's
but
different each time.
the passenger's the same every time. So I'm starting to see a pattern here, Noli.
What should I do different? Because
Do you just like rip the tag off when you check in?
Jack got his 3 suitcases. I got my other one, but that was like filled with shoes. But my clothes suitcase was just completely missing,
So you were just walking around Toronto the first
Yeah,
week, like
yeah.
in your shoes with no clothes, absolutely no clothes on.
next day I want to
plain shoes, though.
a week of clothes. So that's fine.
Okay, that's good. Because I think it's illegal to walk around naked in Canada, so that would not have gone
Was
down
it?
well at all.
Jack might be screwed.
How
It's
is
a really
big
good-
Canada then? How's Canada treating you?
It's not too special. I always thought Canada was like, I don't know. I always thought it was better. But
It's like America's hat, essentially.
But it's not special. Like it's not. It's I'd say it's worse than the UK.
And he's from Liverpool, so that's saying a lot, actually.
Liverpool's the best city in the UK. Yeah, the food here has been pretty bad overall.
Damn,
Cons-
wait, so you just hate everything?
Yeah, no,
No, it didn't. Canada had a real opportunity because, like, it's a very interesting country historically. They had like French influence, UK influence, and then I think there was another one as well. Somebody who knows the history better than me will probably tell me. But like, didn't they take the worst parts of everything? Like, they took American politics, UK food,
The French
and
culture.
like French culture, and now they're just like the most, like the worst combination that they could have gone for, or something like that. I don't know the history too well, but I've heard that before, or something to that effect.
I could just be homesick and miss my home. So
Mm.
that might be a factor as well.
Where are you boot camping right now?
Where? At the Shopify facility.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's why it's
been
green.
they've been very kind to let us play from their place and hook us up with a few things and take us out for things to eat. They've been very, very welcoming.
So I want you to, we may as well, let's get into the heat of things, right? Let's get into the heat of battle right now. Talk to me, Nolly. Talk to me about the current situation, obviously moving over to North America and picking up, obviously you and Jack were sort of, partied up to look for a third. Talk us through picking up Big Chronic and how's it going?
Yeah, at first, I didn't know who he was. I've seen his name on the leaderboard. No, look, wait.
There's no way you start off like that.
I
There's
did.
just no way.
I didn't know who he was properly. I saw him on leaderboards and I saw him in like one show matches and stuff, but I never saw what he could do in tournaments. So I went on YouTube. I downloaded some VODs on ball chasing as well to see how he plays, and I realized he's like a super mechanical player, and it's something that I think each team needs. And as soon as like I got more information on him and realized how good he actually was, we made him our priority.
So this might be a consistent problem. Noly, Joyo, do you know who Chronic is at this moment?
I've known Chronic for ages. I've known him since I was like rank B+.
Oh, really?
So actually,
Yeah,
that's not a consistent problem. It's just Noly and Jack
I'm
as well. I would imagine.
I don't really watch other.
I mean, me and Chronic were like in similar positions at the same time. We were both like bubble players who weren't eligible for RLCS at the same time, so we always like knew of each other. I think we both had like clip hitting history.
So how did it? If you didn't know him, how did this come to be then? Like obviously you started watching it on YouTube, but like what happened before that for him to be a candidate?
Jack was like, we made a list. We were like, if we stay in Europe, because we had a few organizations in Europe wanting to pick me and Jack up. So we made a list of European players who were free agents, and then NA players who were free agents. And we realized that, I mean, to start off, the contracts in NA are a lot better. So that was one of the factors. And the players, the options that we had were a lot more suited towards me and Jack in America as well. That's just what we went for.
Yeah, you don't have to get anything, or you don't have to say anything specific, although I'm sure you will. How long was your list? How many people did you have on there?
There was like six people from NA. And
Six
then,
from NA?
Yeah, and then 4 from EU.
How many of those people were contracted out of the 10?
None. No, two.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, were they all mechanical sort of demons?
Yeah.
Is that sort of what you're looking
they
at?
were. Yeah, we wouldn't pick up somebody who wasn't really mechanical.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, if I was a free agent right now, what were my odds of making that squad?
Likely 0, but
I said 1 to 10.
Shit, my bad. It'd be, you know what?
Another way to say that would be that you're off the scale, Rizzo.
Didn't make the cut, I guess.
We don't need to off the scale is all you need to say in the interview. Just don't go into too much information. Don't volunteer information that they didn't ask for. You're off the scale.
What about Torment? Because he made that tweet about obviously BDS calling him not mechanical, and he absolutely fired back with the double flip reset. So would you look to pick up a Torment with the mech? Torment
was taken. He was on I don't think he would have been a free agent whatsoever. But for a player like him, I'd sort of say that's me, or maybe Jack, the way we play. And obviously we don't want 3 of the same sort of style of players. We need someone who's a lot more and can be a lot more dangerous.
You need a Joyo, is what you're saying.
Exactly, yeah.
How's your calls gone then? You're jumped in there and had a little bit of trouble in the top 16, but brought it back in the close call.
To be honest, it wasn't really too frightening, just because scrims we were destroying pretty much everybody. We're really good in scrims. It just came down to being nervous in tournaments, and obviously jet lag's a part of it, being homesick, a new setup, new continent, new team, new org. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of different things to get in the way. But I think for this weekend's regional, not to jinx it, I think we'll bounce back a bit harder.
How long were you in Canada until you played that top 16 Swiss? The first
one?
We
were here for 5 days. So not really too long, to be honest.
I think that's a similar situation to Furia as well.
Yeah.
Just gotten in.
It's tough. I mean, it's they just qualified, so that's the main thing. But yeah. It's the easiest copium for fans, and rightfully, I think it rightfully is the easiest copium. It's true. It's just more difficult to play on a different setup in a different location.
Do you feel the pressure coming, from EU?
I
Obviously,
do.
you
Oh,
do.
right. One bad performance and it's go back to Europe, or like, oh, and again, EU bad. So I think coming here, we don't really want to. I don't want to diss, but obviously we don't want to pull a turbo where like he
Ooh.
comes,
Well, I think you have dissed with that comment actually, whether or
But
not you
he
want
won a
to.
world championship.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, to be fair, no, you're all right. It's invalid. I'm just thinking of like how Turbo is now. I don't want to get worse while I'm here. I do want to be honest, I want to be in NA for at least 2 years with or without Gen G. And I do want to keep getting better.
Joyo, what do you think about moving to NA as a EU pro? I mean, obviously you've got an NA org, but was that ever a conversation? Is that ever something that's crossed your mind as a pro player?
I mean, I got an offer.
It was right.
What did you say, Nolly?
No, I was like, it was like you and Rise had been offered to move to NA.
I think we had in the past, but like not this off season. But I got an offer this off season, but I didn't take it. I don't know. I don't think, for me at least, I don't think it's the right time. And when we were doing tryouts and stuff and picking our third, we thought that there was enough talent in the EU, like free agents and stuff, that it wasn't worth going to a whole nother place in the world just to get a player who might be the exact same level as a third you could get in EU.
That's fair. I feel like, Joe, talk to me, because I feel like I talked to you a month ago, right? Well, not a month, maybe a bit over a month ago, and there was sort of a bit of baiting going on about Rise not being happy with the team, but it was all sticking together. But obviously now the tier has been announced on Carmine taking Noly's lovely spot over there. What sort of eventuated there? If you could elaborate as much as you wish to. Rizzo's probably got a stranglehold on this conversation.
I mean,
is it hot in here, guys?
I mean, our off season was a mess, to be honest. Like, it's so hard to explain. There's so many twists and turns. It's like a roller coaster. But I mean, we didn't find out that. I mean, we were gonna be LF1, me and Rise, until Rise was on holiday, which is really late. So he had to cut his holiday short and come home early and stuff. And it was very stressful. We didn't really know what was gonna happen, but I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to like leak anything either, but
No, leak
it was no. It could have been handled better. And I mean, it left me and Rise in a bad situation. But I mean, I think we made the best of it, and it happens. And I mean, Vitura has his reasons for leaving, and some of them, obviously, me and Rise are going to agree with and disagree with. But we just got to move on. Like, if we don't like forget about it and move on, then we're not going to ever like be able to play better with our third now.
What do you think Astral then brings to the team that, obviously Vitura was an incredible player, but do you think that, like, have you seen already Astral sort of bringing something else or something different that you didn't have with Vitura, looking at the positives?
I mean, Astral's a baller, like, to be honest. I mean, Noly, you've played with him.
I was honestly about to say, like, Astral is one of the best players in the world. Simple as. There were series at Worlds and at the Major where he 1v3'd when me and Itachi weren't feeling it. So I think if anything, I think Astral could even be an upgrade if the team meshes well.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna be positive about it. I mean, we're trying hard and stuff. Astral's cracked. Like, people started doubting him at the start of this, like, last season, but I don't know. I think he proved by the end he's still got it, and obviously it's gonna be hard to fill someone like Vitura's shoes. And But I mean, I don't think Astral even needs to fill Vitira's shoes. They're different players, like completely, and I think we can do just as good, better. Like with Astral, he's a baller. People who've played with him and against him know he's so hard to play against. I mean, we're confident, we're grinding, so that's all I really have to say about it.
So you were saying how you might have been left in a bad situation and Rise had to come home early from vacation. I'm pretty sure Jack might have done the same thing.
Jack didn't.
Oh, he didn't.
Me, Jack, and Chronic teams without even trying out. We just sort of guaranteed like, yeah, the team.
Okay, well, fair enough. But
Wow.
some other players I've heard have mentioned as well how like the off season feels so short that it's not even really a break, or like the trade windows feel short because it's not even really a break. It's more stressful than like a break, and so like there's very few teams that are actually like guaranteed their spot. And I mean, I'm sure even teams that stuck, they still had question marks around their team, like whether they were going to stick or not. So do you guys think that maybe the trade window is too short or anything like that?
I don't know. I mean, it's like, what, a month and a half? It's... no, yeah, to be fair, I feel like it should be longer, because after like 9 months of competing with a week break every 3 months, it takes a toll. It is stressful. You don't really get much time off, but we get paid to put in those hours.
Yeah.
If we didn't have to work so hard, we wouldn't get paid as much as well.
What would you think about, this is a bit of a tangent, but in the idea of a shorter or a longer off season, what do you guys think? What's the pro perspective on like a 2-split format instead of 3 splits?
No,
And then the same prize money, but 2 splits, so there's more off-season tournaments, longer trade windows, longer off-season. How does that sound? But same prize money. So like a regional, or rather a major is what, 100K? No.
Yeah.
No, it's
Regionals
300K. Sorry.
100K.
Yeah, regionals 100.
A major. So if a major is 300K, then if there's 3 majors, that's 900. So 2 majors would be 450 each. So they'd just be worth more, essentially.
I mean, personally, I don't know. And about like the longer trade window and stuff, it makes sense for people like me and Nolly who are at Worlds. It's like what, a month and a half, was it, or something?
Yeah,
But it was what 3-4 months for the people that weren't there, some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like, if you extend that even longer, it would be perfect for the people that made Worlds, but for the people that didn't, it would be a lot of sitting around and waiting for like up to what, 5 months. And
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
it goes both ways. I mean, extending it would benefit me and people like me and Nolly, but I don't know. You kind of have to think about the people that don't qualify for Worlds, majors, etc.
You reckon they should have some more regain tournaments for the people that don't make the majors and worlds? That's what you're saying.
Shout out CJCJ.
Look,
Yeah,
I think the system makes sense, right? Because obviously it's not that long for the people that made worlds, but the teams that made worlds probably shouldn't be making roster changes. You want to give time to the people that aren't at the top qualifying for majors and worlds to make roster changes and try and get there. So I think that's sort of like, I guess, you are punished for making worlds and then making a roster change, but maybe that is like sort of your punishment in a way, like you're already a top team and then you're looking to, go further. So, I think that system works. I think any longer, and as we said, it's just pushing it so far away from, the regainers, as we like to call them. So they want to get started, get stuck in. They've been, making roster changes. All at the same time, the thing of, if you don't make worlds, you're sort of waiting for the teams that do make worlds to like potentially move as well. So there is a lot of waiting around for the teams that don't make the world champs.
Oh yeah, there's always like every region has like a catalyst. Once one team or one player moves, that's where everybody starts shifting instead, or like instantly.
The regainers.
I mean, from what I think about the 2-split thing you were talking about as well, Johnny, I think that before we start changing the format again and all this stuff, like there is only RLCS, and with longer breaks, we need something in between them for like people that need to play still. Like, I don't know. There's been a lot of talking about supporting the bubble and stuff, and like the people below main event, and just nothing gets done. I don't know. I mean, the regain stuff Rizzo's doing, shout out Rizzo. It's close to home to me because I mean it hasn't even been a year since I was a bubble player, and I mean that's a community I came from like really recently, and it seems like the more the game goes on, the further it strays away from supporting the people below the pros, and I think they deserve something before we think about changing it for the pros again.
Do you think it is like RLCS or outside of what's more fun? Like, you know, RLCS having an extra division or like other community tournaments and the community LANs. I'm not just talking like, you know, community tournaments. I mean like community LANs during a longer transfer window, longer off season. Like, what's more exciting as a bubble player? Because when I try and put myself in their shoes, I'm not sure, but I feel like the LANs are what people care about the
Yeah.
most. So if there's a chance for a smaller LAN that isn't going to get dominated by all of the usual teams, and the bubble players have a chance to qualify for that and, you know, make it in and win some money on a LAN, or, you know, have success in LAN, surely for me as a viewer that seems like a more interesting thing. But I don't know. I've never been a bubble player, so.
Well, wait, what do you mean by
Talk
a
to me.
smaller LAN? Like, are you saying
Well,
like
not an
lower
RLCS LAN.
seeds?
Not
Yeah,
an RLCS LAN.
Oh,
Less money,
okay.
less
Yeah.
money. So like maybe
Like,
like,
you have, like, a
all the top teams
30K.
are like, I'm not going to that because that's, you know, not worth it for the big teams because it's a smaller LAN. Maybe smaller production, less money, but like the bubble teams are gonna be like, wait, this is what we want to do to prove I'm a LAN player, to prove that that I can.
Counter-Strike do
play the
that sort of,
pressure.
like they have those local, like they have local dream hacks sort of thing that are only, you know, 50K, that a lot of the time you
Mhm.
don't see any of the top 20 teams in the world going to, or 30 teams. So it could be an option.
I mean, obviously RLCS is the main goal, but like, I feel like there needs to be something else, like just something else. I don't know what it has to be, or I mean, I haven't put thought into it much, but like just anything to do if you don't meet your goal in like RLCS or something.
Mhm.
There's something else to do. Like before there was DreamHack, and I mean, it wasn't like every week or anything. It wasn't every month. It was just something to do or like something to focus on if you didn't get. I don't know
I
what you
kind of think
wanted.
that's the way to do it. I think DreamHack's kind of
Yeah.
just a non-RLCS LAN tournament is the way to do it, because when the grid existed and the field and all that, I feel like it was way saturated because there's too much online Rocket League. And I'm speaking from the commentator and viewer perspective, but sure, I'm thinking surely like a LAN circuit that isn't RLCS would be more enticing for a bubble player to grind towards than just queuing up the field.
The
A lot of people
question
say
I
bring
have
back
with-
bring back grid, bring back field, bring back RLCS season like league format. I'm like, I don't know, because
the
when those
grid.
things were happening, everybody's saying this
Not the
is
grid or
pointless.
the field.
Yeah,
They
I
died
think-
so
please,
fast.
anything but
No,
those.
nothing
The
but
Yeah,
that.
grid.
see,
different
I think
idea.
now I'm seeing people saying bring it back, but I'm seeing
Didn't the
people
top
say
teams
bring
play
back.
the grid as well?
They
Like,
did,
Oh.
Yeah,
yeah.
they
Yeah,
did,
top
but it
tiers.
was
Yeah, we were forced to play, but
the field was the one that nobody played.
The
Like
field
at
was
all.
one that EU played more, and NA was completely dead.
What? No, the
was
field
the field like you played if you wanted to? Like,
Yeah.
you
It was
could
like the,
set up-
yeah.
And
The
Yeah,
idea
set
was
up
to
games.
replace scrims essentially with the field, and then you would go in the Discord and like queue up.
It was like
Yeah.
replace 6-mans.
Queue up
was
for
like,
a best of 5 instead of an hour block of scrim, so it never really
That's
worked
way
out.
better.
No, but it wasn't.
I
too
don't know.
bad.
It's just so, for me, it seems oversaturated. I feel like there's just so much online Rocket League that there has to be. I would love if there was more space for other orgs and other TOs to run LANs, and then they would happen, and bubble players would have something to do.
The question
During
I have, like,
season- yeah, sorry.
for you, Joyo, is like, you know, you obviously you've come from the bubble, so I feel like you're the closest to the bubble
Yeah.
out of all of us here. Maybe Rizzo if he wants to jump back into the competitive scene. But so you know, before we had like RLCS and RLRS, you know, and RLRS was sort of considered like the bubble, but that was
Yeah.
still 16 teams. The point I'm trying to make is like, if we say we expand the regionals to, you know, a 20 team main event, like, does the bubble just keep going below like whatever it is? Like, it doesn't matter if we keep expanding how many teams, like there's always going to be like still the bubble below that. Like, I feel like or is that like a solution to have more teams? Like, define the bubble for me. And like, if we can
because
pop the bubble, or there's always
people
going to
ask
be a
me that
bubble.
what the bubble is, and I just like spew out some shit. I don't even know what I'm saying half the time. So please,
I mean, I get what you mean. The thing about the bubble is the only like way to define it is it's just like a feeling. Like you look at a player and like, oh, they're a bubble player. Like
It's a sensation, a fragrance.
It is.
I love
Th-
that.
this
'Cause it's
pe-
true.
It's like the perfect amount of like, if you there's like, in my mind, if you've like filled a certain amount of boxes, like you've played amount of tournaments, you're a ranking 6-mans or you're high in 2s, like you're a ball player. I don't know, it's like a random thing in my mind. But I don't know. I also don't know if like expanding the regional sizes a direct like help. I don't know if that'll like fix it completely.
So would you rather have, because I feel like expanding the regional or the region sizes is still the version of the top teams. It feels like they want the regainers tournament, like Rizzo's saying. They want tournaments that don't include any of the top teams or any of the top 16 or top 12 or whatever. They just want pure tournaments for the bubble. Is that right? They'd rather have that than, say, a 32-team main event when they still might verse a G2 or a Moist. Like, they want just bubble tournaments. They want to win money without playing the better teams. Is that right?
I don't know.
Can I throw a theory out there? And you guys
I don't
can
think that's
agree.
the case, by the way.
I think they want credit. I think they want notoriety. I feel like when I look at bubble complaints and bubble desires, it's all like we want people to acknowledge that we're good. That's what I see.
I don't even see it as that though. All I can think about is that like the bubble players just want something to play in, and the only thing that they get to play in that's like worth anything, right? They can play in a John Salmon weekly $30. You know what I'm saying? Like they can play in that, but that doesn't matter to them. They want something that's like high competition, and it doesn't matter if RLCS teams are in it or not. They just want to be able to play in it. And so like when their only tournament is the RLCS qualifier, and they don't make it, and they sit around for 2 weeks, basically, they want more than that. They don't want the money. Well, some of them obviously they would. The money doesn't matter.
Noli.
All that.
No,
Yeah.
I think I agree.
They just
with
want
what
stuff
you're
to
saying,
play
Rizzo.
in.
Do you know why though? I totally agree, and I think it's because they think no bubble player thinks that they are a bubble player. They all think that they're sick at the game, that they're better than some pro.
No.
No. It's true though. It's
Some
true
of
though.
them have egos
No,
for
you
sure,
need an
but
ego.
no, that's
you
not
need
the
an
case.
ego. How are you gonna make it through the bubble if you don't
there's
have an
no
ego?
way you've never seen a black profile pic saying I'm done every week. Like this happens.
But
all
why
the
do
time.
they turn the profile pic black? It's because they don't want people
They
to
don't
notice
think they're
them.
better
like,
than everybody
I'm
else.
disassociating with my account right now because I'm better than this. It's
It's like when you put in like
they're
new
disappointed
controller,
in themselves,
new settings.
Johnny. What do you mean?
Yeah, it's disassociation. It's just a classic and very
excuses.
effective thing to do. I think it's a good idea. But I feel like every
I'll
bubble
say-
player thinks that they're better than what they're getting. They think
Okay.
they deserve more than what they're getting. is what I'm
First,
saying.
okay, let me just say.
Yeah.
Okay, Joyo, go actually.
I was gonna say, like, I know what you mean, Johnny. I kind of like it. This is the thing with like the bubble scene is I have like a love-hate relationship with it because like obviously it's where I came from and stuff. But like from being in there and seeing some people like talk about like the tournaments and stuff, I think there's a lot of bubble players that are really, I don't know if they have like massive egos, but they're all really like entitled. Not all of them. Okay, I don't want to say every bubble player is entitled, but
Sounds
there's a
like you're
few-
saying that.
there's a
What you
set
can
few
say is
that are
there's a
extremely
lot-
entitled.
You can say there's a lot of entitlement in the bubble scene, and you wouldn't be wrong. I would say.
I from what I've seen and my personal experience, I think there's quite a bit of entitlement in the bubble scene, but it sort of makes it unfair on the people that aren't like that. And like there's a lot of ego in the bubble scene, and it's like a double-edged sword. Like you can have an ego in the bubble and also be cracked, and like you instantly get out of it because you know you're better than everyone.
Agree. Yeah.
But
I
you
totally
could also get stuck because you're not good, and then you think you're better than everyone, and you just get stuck in a cycle of like not knowing why you aren't
feel like-
out of the bubble.
I feel like the problem with the bubble players is they want like all of them, like it doesn't matter who you talk to, like they all want different things, right? Some of them, want to be, they're like, we never get to versus top teams, we never get to scrim them. But then they'll be like, we make main event and then we have to play G2 first round. Like this is the worst thing ever. You know what I mean? Other ones are like, we only want to play with, I don't know, everyone, I feel like there's so much contradiction in the bubble scene in terms of like, the simple answer is like the beauty of the open format. If you're good enough, you can win a regional. You can sign up for, apart from obviously regional 3 now. It's
Nothing
total
stopping
points.
you. Nothing
is stopping you from literally signing up and winning. But then
It's
they're
just
complaining
copium. Saying that you queue in a G2 round 1 and that's what's stopping you from being a pro player is definitely copium. As saying that it's too difficult because there's so many rounds in the open format. Like people who say that the older RLCS format was more friendly to bubble teams. are just ridiculous. I think because
It wasn't.
How is
The old
how is
format
a
wasn't.
league
Same
a
people.
league that
Same
you can
people who
only
think RLCS is a good idea to bring back.
Yeah, it was so not friendly to the bubble back then. But some people are like, I guess grass is just always greener on the other side because they look back at it and they're like, maybe that is what would help my pro career, but it's not. It just doesn't
This is
work.
a good this is a good sort of addition to that as well. If you Rizzo, I know Flitz put up a tweet. I can probably give you the link, which sort of relates to it.
Oh yeah.
I'll chuck it in the chat. So there you go. Pull that up for the stream. So basically, Flitz tweeted. I'll read it while he's pulling it up for the people that are listening. So he said teams and orgs. So they're obviously the regional just happened, or the qualifiers, sorry, for NA just happened, and he basically says teams/orgs like Dark Zero, Ghost, Xset, Accrue, etc. fell short of the regional. If this isn't a sign to up the regionals to 20 teams, I don't know what is. Just my thoughts. It got 700 likes from the bubble players. Now, in my opinion, like in this is another situation, right? It's do you want to spoon feed teams that have orgs into the top, or are you just not good enough? Like, at what point do we need to extend the teams to get everyone in there to the main event? I think that, these teams had opportunities to qualify. They didn't. I agree that the competition is great. Like Noly will agree, the NA depth, there is a lot of NA depth that is quite competitive. Like, whose fault is it that they didn't qualify? Is it like... Yeah, I think
the thing is that they lost. The teams he listed lost 2 bubble teams.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I feel like it's I understand the frustration, but the teams that didn't make it lost to bubble teams.
Yeah, they lost to
That's
Drew,
why they didn't make
who's
it
in chat right now. They lost to Drew, who's on solo.
Yeah.
Like I agree, it's not good for these orgs. Like, these orgs they're signing these teams up because they want eyes, they want exposure, they want to be in the main event on the main broadcast.
You got it.
So it's not good, but 100%. But it's
no,
not.
stop there.
But you can't just.
But they lost to bubble teams. They lost to no org bubble teams.
This is
so
my
like,
point.
what?
So yeah, there's 16 slots obviously for these teams. But think about the benefit of. I'm not saying add more slots. I think 16 is fine. But think about the benefit of having more tournaments where eyes can be seen on these orgs. This only helps the players. This only helps more orgs want to get into the scene. This only helps bubble players actually receive a livable salary, whatever, or a salary for a lot of them. Having side tournaments where that's really from what I can tell, that's really all they're asking for. Yeah, Flitz said maybe advances to 20 teams because there's nothing else. If there was another league per se for the 17th through 24 seed, or you had to qualify, or anything like that, where it's just a smaller thing where they could play in and they could play throughout the season. That's all they really want for the most part. And obviously they would want money involved in that as well because they don't want to play something for no reason. They want something to where if there's eyes on, or they can have eyes on it so the orgs can see it, the orgs can get the benefit of having people watch it, then the orgs can get money from sponsors. The whole ordeal where the money flows in and then it goes to the players. Having people able to see the other broadcast is really the biggest benefit to all this.
Surely they could do something small to start, where in day 3 Swiss, where there's 8 teams that go through to the main event, and then the 8 that don't just go into a playoff bracket or something, just an extra bit of tournament to play. I don't know, just anything.
Yeah. So, and somebody
does it have to be RLCS is my main question, because that's
no, it does not.
That's the thing that I keep saying is people keep saying RLCS needs to be this, or RLCS needs to be that.
And somebody
I
said
immediately disagree, because I'm like, no, it doesn't. RLCS is fine without 20 teams in regionals, but does the bubble scene need more eyes on it? I think sure. I think it's good if the story of an upcoming player is documented, and people get a chance to prove themselves outside of RLCS.
I agree that, say, from 10 onwards in NA or something like that, it might be really, say, 10 to 24 might be close. But when you're looking at, the point of the regionals is, I guess qualifiers for majors, right, and then majors qualifiers for worlds, right? And I don't want to dox Gibbs here, but he brought up a great point. We were talking about NA depth. And he said 4 NA teams won regionals last season. Out of 9 regionals, only 4 won, and only 8 NA teams made top 4. So it's not like if we start having the 16th seed winning a regional, then it might be okay, NA depth. But I feel like it's more we've just got a lot of teams below the top that are like good now. Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
Like,
Yeah, that makes
there's
a lot
good,
of sense. And
there's a
I'm
good-
not. I'm against. Sorry, I'm against going to 20 teams. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Same,
Okay.
same.
So Turanturo's got a good point in, or a good angle in chat. Is this all Psionics has to do is give like 25K a month, 6-mans, and let the top 24 teams play in that. So the
That's a good-
question, I mean, I can tell
I'll
you, like,
agree.
immediately off when you say that, it sounds like a, sure, yeah, why not? Because that would give some, something for people to play for, and it's only 25K, which pales in comparison to the, RLCS budget. But I can tell you, like, 100%, if you pitch that idea to Psionics and they pitch it to whoever's in charge of the checkbook, their reply is going to be, what do we get out of this? Because what does RLCS need? RLCS just needs the, events to contain good teams and, well, to contain the best teams. And it already does that.
Orgs,
So it actually
orgs
doesn't
do
really
nothing
matter.
For RLCS, by the way. Some
Yeah,
guy just
it-
said
it-
orgs. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
for
orgs.
them.
See, it actually, my point is, it doesn't actually matter. It wouldn't change RLCS in any way. It wouldn't really benefit in any way. Like, why put 25K a month, which, let's see, so, 25K if you're doing it for NA and EU, that would be 24 months. So you're talking 600 grand for a year of whatever this is. Sure, I'm thinking surely that 600K is going to be spent better somewhere else. Like, just do something different than, a 25K 6-mans. Because, I mean, sure, 25K would help, but I think the money would help somewhere else a lot more than doing that. I think you can make a real difference to other aspects of the game with 600 grand.
Chrome talks about CRL, which is a good point, but I think when you look at, as Rizzo said, Rizzo's a very business-oriented, business-minded person, right? When you're coming from Sonic's point of view, CRL is great because it's an advertisement for Rocket League. It's getting it into the mainstream, and it's as you said, like college sports, like they're big on that. In terms of the RLCS, it's a great advertisement for Rocket League. There's a lot of eyes for Twitch, but it's that question, as Johnny said, of like, if you are hosting these, what's in it for Sonics in terms of like them pushing, growing, like it could be growing the competitiveness of the game.
Yeah, what does
and
it
like the
achieve?
smaller
Like,
community,
that's a
but
lot of money compared to like
it's
what you
not.
could do
They're not
somewhere
getting a
else.
return. Yeah.
Yeah, the return's just not there. Like, nobody watches that, so like they're not getting anything. They're not getting any sponsors. Like, the hardcore community is going to watch, but like that's not the audience RLCS is trying to cater or trying to expand into. They're trying to expand into the casual audience. So they don't need to be putting more money, in my opinion, into bubble tournaments. I think that there's a very clear way for a bubble team to get into RLCS. You qualify, and then you do well. That's my, a very clear way that I can see for anyone to prove themselves. You just have to win. Obviously, that's really hard. So, I'm not saying it's easy, but there is a way. There's literally a way in. There wasn't once a way. Like in the old RLCS format with the league, you needed to wait a whole year. You had to qualify for RLCS, do well in that, then qualify for, what did I say, RLCS? Qualify for RLRS, do well, then qualify for RLCS, and now you're in the league. And now you can win against the best teams and prove yourselves and qualify for LAN. But today it's just qualify. I think it's fine.
I do want to add one more point to this. If you do make a regional NA or EU, like there's a 100K prize pool, and 15th and 16th place gets $1,000. So when we were making the Regain tournament, we did a $1,500 prize pool. One, because budget's tight. Two, because you can't
Just slip that in.
you can't really like we're basically paying the 17th place Rocket League team or whatever, and we can't pay them more than the 16th place spot in RLCS.
Otherwise, they won't want to qualify.
Yeah.
They would be like, well, now we can win more money in Rizzo's tournament if we just throw. So
But, like,
it's
I
a
do
really
think-
weird spot where like I don't even know what to do about the situation, and it's like my thing, right? It's a
No,
weird
I
thing.
think that's smart. I think you've done a smart thing there. But I was going to mention that I think it's really a lot cooler that tournament's happening with you and the team you've got, rather than just being under the RLCS banner. For me, I wish that there were more community stuff like that. And the real thing, I know from being a community tournament organizer, that the biggest thing that prevents there being more community tournaments is how short transfer windows are and how short the off season is. It's very hard to run community tournaments because there's just no time. So, players want time off. Players are busy scrimming, so you just don't have any time. If there was like a lot more time, there would be more tournaments in the bubble season. The bubble scene, I think, would be happier. But
I still think if you if you paid more money for first place Rizzo than 16th, like you paid more than $1,000,
Yeah.
you can't tell me that a team is going to rather throw qualifiers
Well, no,
to
what you
then
don't
play a
understand,
16-team
CJ.
double elim.
CJ, if they play on my stream, then they can watch 8 ads at once, so it's more worth it for them to be there. Yeah, you got to think about these things.
I think it's more the potential to win money is always going to be a lot higher than the regainers tournament, which should be what the teams are looking at. But I do see your point as well that it doesn't look as great. But at the same time, you still have to win the tournament. It's not like if you just miss out on RLCS, you instantly get first place in the regainers tournament.
Yeah,
So,
I didn't really think about that, but the other thing is we're trying to run it like throughout the whole season. We're trying to do multiple of them, so like. We basically figured out how much it would cost or like a range, and throughout the season we're going to be trying to get more budget. So hopefully we can like actually ramp it up. But it also depends on the viewership. The viewership always matters. People say like, oh, people don't have to watch the tournament. It's just for the bubble scene. Yes, people have to watch the tournament or else like you can't get money for it. It doesn't make sense if people don't watch it.
And then if people don't watch it, then Rizzo's ad incentive will just be atrocious. So people need to watch this.
If my ad incentive drops, I can't keep doing it, guys. The other thing
I had one good month, guys.
besides that, the teams actually have to show up as well. Like, I mean, we've invited the 16 teams, right? Only 3 of them said no, which is amazing. Like inviting 16 teams and only having 3 no's is like crazy. Seriously unheard of. If I invited the top 16 RLCS teams, I would have 19 no's somehow. I don't even know how it would happen. They would say no twice.
I would have said yes.
Thank you.
But obviously you didn't ask me, so
You're not a bubble player, Noly.
The tournament's not for you. You made the really bad mistake.
He would rather play in my tournament. I knew it.
I don't really have much to say about it. Like it doesn't really concern me too much. So
True.
like it doesn't make my life worse. Doesn't make my life better. So I'll let other people worry about it.
Imagine hypothetically you lost close quals and you're like, I think we need a bubble. I think we need bubble tournaments.
I'll be better for the next regional. I mean,
I don't know.
tournaments are the ones that matter. Like if you want to be the best, you need to play against the best, and only the best compete in main event tournaments.
That's the bubble mindset we need.
Yep,
it's facts.
This kind of ties in with one other thing I wanted to ask Noly and Joyo about. And we're talking about do regionals need more spots to support the bubble scene, or are there better ways to support the bubble scene? In the same way with Noly and Jack and CRR and Furia all moving to NA, and talent kind of like actually not consolidating for once. NA did something they've never done before. Instead of like consolidating talent and like just all of the guys who know each other getting on the same team, now they're like, actually, let's all split up. Pick up one really sick mechanical bubble player each, and now we've got more good teams. So NA did what EU's been doing for many seasons, and now they've got depth of talent past 7 good teams, which is sick. But does that mean, Noly and Joyo, this is my question, does that mean that there should be more spots for NA at majors than 5?
No.
With all this talent moving in and new teams popping up?
No. I mean,
I don't think so.
There's always been a lot of talent in the EU. They didn't get an extra spot. It is what it is. It's a tough competition, and if we didn't want to move to NA, we wouldn't have. It's like we're not here just because. Like we didn't come here because we thought, oh, easier competition. There's always this tough competition everywhere. But I think it is what it is. Next season there'll be a lot more EU players moving over to NA as well.
Next season there's going to be more EU players coming?
I can guarantee
there probably will be, yeah.
Yep.
They're probably working
Why
on it.
is it the money, Nolly, or is it seriously that NA is weak? Tell me.
Oh, not weak. Like Rocket League aside, there's a lot more money and more opportunities. To get more I get even their tournaments, their regionals are sponsored by. Well, I guess I should say my regionals now are sponsored by actual things, whereas in Europe it was just name something. It never had a sponsor. There's a lot more
Mhm.
recognition, a lot more sponsors, a lot more money.
Oh, you're saying from like fall regional 3 compared to like the Ford fall whatever.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's just I think it's a I guess it's bigger over here, right, as well. Esports is
Is
North America than Europe.
It's interesting though, because a lot of the sponsors that I've talked to that ask for NA specific viewership are global brands, and I'm like, why do they want to know my NA specific viewership when they're a global brand? But it's just a done thing in esports that they just want to know. Okay, how many American viewers have we got? Yeah, we want to sponsor the American one. Because I did a tournament once. I did EU version, NA version, and the sponsor wanted to sponsor the NA one, and I told him, listen. The viewership statistics for both qualifiers were identical. Like the same percentage of NA viewers watch the EU one as watch the NA one. I showed them that, and they were like, "Yeah, that's all really interesting, but we still just want to sponsor the NA one." I was like, "Why? Why? I don't get it." I'm saying they're the same viewers, and like you're a global product. I don't understand, but that's just what happens. The American sponsors want to sponsor the American show if you tell them there's an American show, and not the EU one.
That's all. No, Johnny's saying that there were the same amount of North Americans watching the European one, not that
Yeah, I'm
there
saying
were
there were
the same
NA
amount of
viewers in the European one. So if you put the advert in the EU tournament, like the American viewers are going to see it just as easily as they're going to see the advert and the commercial, I should say, on the American tournament. It's weird for two reasons. The viewership stats are the same, and they're global brands. I don't understand, but I would imagine RLCS have similar issues because it seems like they're not getting as many sponsors for their EU shows, like Nolly said.
I'd say the
Expendable income
other
difference, no idea. I don't know anything beyond that.
positive Nolly for you is if you get washed, you can just get an esports contract and join a CRL team. So you're off to college.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
You know, plus there's more orgs in NA, I think, right? Or am I wrong? in
Yeah.
saying-
I think there is. I mean, I think there's just more opportunity, more money. Like everything's just bigger.
Yeah. I can
True.
see Europe becoming less and then getting talent over to here.
There's a
Well,
lot of interesting theories in chat right now that are.
go on then.
What's this? NA people spend more recklessly is a good one. So you think when there's just like when you think there's just like a mobile one ad, all the NA viewers are like, "Give me that!
Oh my
I'm buying that right now."
My oil.
You guys are just so much more easily
wait.
impressed by an advert. You're just like, "Nah, I'm buying that right now."
See, look at them. That's all my US. There's my people right there.
There's my people.
There's my people, and that's my oil.
Chrome just asked, is there more than 3 EU teams? What?
Oh, good.
What does he mean?
At the
In what
top.
context? At
the
the
top.
top?
So he's saying
there'll
that
be more.
than 3.
Oh, he's saying EU's like weak this season or something.
Yeah.
who
Is
are
he
your
serious
three
or is he
teams?
just is he baiting or is that an actual question? I can't tell.
No, I think
I
he
didn't see
actually.
it.
Like, there's a lot
So-
more. than 3.
How
Who's he
many NA
saying?
teams was that last season?
4
Like
NA?
7 by the end, probably.
Really?
7.
Yeah, by the end, Optic out qualified Energy and Complexity for London. So I guess
yeah,
you'd call
that's-
Energy and Complexity teams. So 7.
That's fair enough.
Mm.
Whereas
But-
EU, what, like 10?
Well, Joyo,
Is it
since
EU?
you're
There's
going to
like
be playing them,
14 or
what do you
something.
think about some of the new teams? Actually, I just saw the G1 announcement before this stream. That went crazy. It was like a crazy vlog type thing. I don't know. It was a weird announcement, but it was sick.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, all those
not seen
teams
it.
regardless.
Is EU going to be weaker next season? Is the question from Chrome? Well,
I don't
this
think
season.
so. I mean, I could see it happening. I mean, there's always a chance, obviously. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I think there's a good chance that it's stronger, but
I
don't know,
feel like it'll be stronger. I mean, Jack and Noly are the only people who have left, right?
CRR.
And
yeah,
Virtual
and
and
CRR.
CRR.
Yeah.
Okay, 4 players have left.
CRR.
I mean,
I feel like there's way more than 4 players who have like stepped up to like top tier, and 4 have left. So I think it's gonna be stronger.
I don't know. EU, like the thing that happened to teams as well is there was like a few teams in EU at the top, and they had all the talent, and I like well, not all like the top talent players, and I feel like now it's like spread across way more. Like there's a bigger spread of talent. So I don't know if like the top of the top will be as good, but it still could be. But I just think like there'll be a few more teams in contention, like around like the fifth, sixth sort of at range, fifth, sixth, seventh.
You
I
know,
don't know.
really early, way too early prediction is well, this is my prediction for the world that most people would be underrating EU in, is if BDS just absolutely dominate the first event and no one else is close. Everybody will say, wow, EU's washed, all these transfers were terrible. And then when it comes to like full major, actually just BDS win easily against the world and the other EU teams do just fine. Like that could happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think it won't be easy for BDS to win. But yeah, there's a lot of question marks because so many teams changed players. It's hard.
Seems like Rise really wants your thoughts on Carmine, Joyo. Can you elaborate on that?
I mean, what exactly about Carmine?
Are they good? Because they got leaked that they've like battered everybody in scrims, but like, are they actually as good as it's presumed to be?
At the start of their scrims, they were doing really good. Like their first few days of forming, I'm pretty sure they were beating everyone. They shot on us at the start. Like I think the first time we scrimmed them, they beat us like quite easily. But more recently, I don't know. I've heard a few things. Heard a few of my friends, few of my pros. Us as well. Heard we've been beating them.
You've heard that you've beaten them.
No, we like us as a collect, like me and my EU brothers.
I thought you just said that you'd heard that
EU
you had beaten
brothers.
them. I was
Me and
like,
my
wow,
EU
that's
brothers.
interesting.
Is it an upgrade from me and Astral? Or no?
I actually can't tell. I don't
It's
think
the
you.
PR
I don't.
answer.
No. They play so differently. Like before when.
Don't give a PR answer like Rise or
No. They
Joyo,
play differently.
if you had to put your money on it, would you expect them to be better or worse? Like than
I'd expect them to be better, to be honest. But like they play so differently. I don't know. Like they just like sit in net. I swear they just sit in net now. And like
so
before you had like
I'm
astral
starting
ball
to.
chasing and stuff, and now it's
This
just
is
like net camp counter attack.
So I'm thinking like back to things said earlier, saying earlier that a lot of somebody mentioned that EU teams are going to be going to NA next season, a lot of EU teams, and now you're saying that Carmine Corp's just sitting in net. I'm starting to like put together the puzzle here, and I think I know what I'm being told, but it's really confusing because I thought Carmine Corp were pretty big in France. I can't see why they moved to NA, but hey,
No, they
crazy
wouldn't,
world.
they wouldn't move to NA.
They wouldn't. I don't think they would.
Oh, they definitely wouldn't.
Oh, I just heard this sitting in net comment. I thought you were trying to sly
NA
leak something,
plays them.
but
I mean,
I was wrong. I was wrong.
The thing is like the people that will move to NA and EU are the people like there'll be probably quite a few like English people if they get the opportunity because I mean everyone in America mostly speaks English, but like or like just good English speakers, and like so like teams like BDS and Carmine, I can't see them moving.
There is the French part of Canada. There's Montreal, so that's a
too big of a
opportunity.
Like it's too big of a change, I think.
I actually liked Montreal. I thought it was kind of fun when we had a DreamHack there. I liked it.
Wait, Riot said why was I gonna blacklist views? Like in scrims or what?
Okay, so there's been a rumor and a clip circulating in the past few weeks. Yeah, so Vitera pretty much said that me and Rise didn't take Scrim seriously and that we were going to be blacklisted by a few teams because of us.
Yeah. So the three of you, whenever we scrimmed, you guys like Vitera would never skip replays. At least one of you was always 5 minutes late. It felt like you guys were trolling quite often. So we were like, oh, we're not gonna scrim these guys again because we'd finish the scrim with like 3-2. You know, we'd finish with 5 games when normally you'd be able to get like 7 or 8. So we blacklisted yous and another team, but I can't think. Maybe Oct when we were at Worlds.
Oh, did you blacklist them at Worlds?
Yeah.
Oh, Chrome's also jumping in the Vitera, not skipping replays.
I'm Mateus.
It's a known thing about Vitera about not skipping replays.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So when we were a team with Vatira, it was always commonplace for Vatira to turn up 5 minutes minimum late every single scrim. That was his time for scrims was late.
Was it more
And-
like chess obligations or just random every time?
It was every single time we scrimmed, he was late. But I mean, I don't know what to say about it really. I was always on time, so
Personally, I think it's a bit unprofessional, just because like you only get an hour, and if you're scrimming 3 times a day and you play that team in the middle, you can't really have leeway to go over the hour.
yeah.
So you want to play as much as possible, especially if you want to be the best. And if one player is sort of ruining that experience, it gets a bit annoying.
Sort of.
So now the real question is, are Carmine Corp showing up exactly 5 minutes late for scripts?
Oh no. Now Carmine can perform Vatira's here every time on the minute perfectly.
Yeah, Eversax are in shape. Eversax
They're
is a
early.
coach.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
early
man.
now. They're early now.
Wow, that's interesting.
Just when it was me and Rise, man.
Early. Rise, you're loving this. They need to get Rise in here.
I
He's
know,
got some
Rise is
opinions.
saying more than anyone in the
Yeah,
call.
I feel like
He's
I
just
feel like
chatting.
Rise got something to say.
Rizzo, do you want to get him in? Do you want to get him in?
If he wants, he can.
Rise is like trying to make Joyo say things. I feel like we
Finley,
need to
come
just get
in.
the man in here.
Now he's gone quiet.
Now he's silent.
Let's go, Rise. Tell
Rise.
us all.
Got all the juice.
He's bringing
Bring in the
the
goat.
goat.
he said.
I'm bringing the goat.
Bring in the goat.
If you're saying Joyo's got the PR, I'm waiting for this non-PR answers coming out.
I
No,
know.
no, I don't have
Yo.
PR answers. I don't have PR answers.
Yo.
I'm
I
just a
don't
really
have my
nice
face
person.
cam. Should I go and get it? Just go get my face
Uh,
cam.
Nah,
Next.
it's too much
Just
work.
put a picture of
Just get a
Yeah.
him
picture.
up
Yeah,
on.
Yeah,
yeah,
get
yeah,
a picture of me. Hi guys.
Hello.
How's it been going?
Pretty
He
good.
acts like he hasn't been a part of the conversation. Hey guys, what are we talking about?
Finley,
What's up?
how did our scrim against Carmine Corp go today?
Oh, let's just say the chicken's been left out in the open in the sun a bit too long. The sun's ruining the chicken right now.
I have no idea what that means. Does anybody else know what that means?
Just like
You'll
look it up
see.
real quick. Look it up.
Look
Let's
at
find out.
Twitter.
Casey.
What?
Look at Twitter. What?
Look at Twitter.
Look at what they've been tweeting. Look at what they've been tweeting.
Who specifically?
Who is they? You need to
Uh,
elaborate.
Well, it's cryptic, bro. It's cryptic.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, but
Got some dusty chicken, bro. It's not seasoned. It's
oh,
not seasoned chicken.
just salt and pepper. Or
We need like the
Not
all the
even that, bro.
detectives. We need the detectives to
Salt's
get
too
on this
spicy.
right now.
oh,
Sauce
okay.
too spicy on the chicken.
it's too spicy. You're waffling.
Oh, I see this.
Wait, Link. I need to see. What is this?
It's not. It's just when they keep talking about pullets. That means
I don't
chicken.
know. I just scrolled. I still don't really know what it means, but
It's not
I've-
this
I
chicken,
found
it's that
that.
chicken.
if you just
Oh,
watch
there's
the
the
2 seconds of
KC
that
announcement.
video.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
let me work. I'm getting this
Oh, media. Couldn't
getting
be
this
fake.
image up.
It's a Carmine official announcement as well. It says it's not this chicken, it's that chicken, and then just points to the team.
What does that mean? I still don't get it.
It's like
I
a French
mean,
meme, not the like the.
Is it a TikTok meme?
No, no,
it's
no.
French.
No,
just
it's
a
a
French
French
thing.
meme.
Every
It's a
time I
French
don't
thing.
get something, I know it's from TikTok these days.
no, it's just a French thing. I mean, I can explain it if you like. It's just like
John. Just
about. It's just like about a team, isn't it? It's like the chicken's good. It's like the team's good, right? Like,
Okay,
that's right.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay. And you're saying the chicken might be a little bit off. Is that what you're saying?
I'm
Maybe
not
it's
saying that. I'm the
overcooked.
PR guy. I'm the PR guy. I'm not saying
Joe's
anything.
PR merchant, bro.
I'm the
Joe's
PR
been giving
guy.
some PR. He's been looking like Jack on these calls, bro. He's been looking like Jack with the PR answers. It's been a bit fraudulent.
Interesting.
Okay, now it all makes sense. I think everybody gets it now. Everybody knows.
Alright, what's the next topic? What have we got lined up? Come on. get
Why
this
are you
moving.
leading
Oh,
on
just-
now?
Just
Jesus.
bash them all out. Just like get Rise really
So
quick
let's
2
get
second
'em.
no PR answer.
Speed running chalkcast, just like every controversial answer to everything.
I feel like you were coming in bringing the sauce, but now you're sort of dodging a little bit, Rise.
I'm not dodging, bro. I came through with the answers, bro.
Yeah, I think that's
Ooh.
fair. He did answer cryptically, but he did answer.
That's
It was
true.
fair enough. Well, Rise,
Oh, EU. Talk to me, Rise. We've got Joyo's PR answer, but talk to me about the region. What are we looking at this season? What are
Alright,
the
tell me what you wanna know.
majors?
Tell me what you want to know.
Just tell me internationally. We're looking at the European region. Took out 3 out of the 4 lands last
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
Are we looking at 4 from 4?
Domination.
We're looking
so
at a 4 from
this
4 this
season the
time.
Grand
or-
Slam.
Well,
4 to
now
4.
that you've retired, CJ, there's not much threat from opposition regions. So
That's so true.
NA frauds.
Frauds. Come on now, that's my
Frauds.
That's my region.
apart from Genji
Oh, I love you, Rise.
and Dark Zero and who else has an EU team? Complexity. Complexity are gonna win every regional. Complexity and Genji.
Complexity
Only
is
hope.
actually really good.
Only hope.
NA's last hope. Oh, and SSG are alright, but they're actually NA. So
Wait, what about
Furia.
Furia?
Furia, yeah.
If I speak, bro. If I speak.
Whoa.
I've been watching the past few days. I've been watching these past few days,
Whoa.
bro. Edge of my seat gameplay. I can't lie. There's
Furia
been some
is the one.
shaky losses.
I just think CRR's the coldest. He's just.
Sierra's good. Sierra's really good.
Wait, so Furia LAN team or no?
I mean, I read somewhere, I think it was on Twitter, like, it's very different having a piss low region for 3 months, and then you have to focus on one weekend every 3 months, and having to beat the best every week. Like, it's very different. Because obviously,
they
it's,
actually they had a couple of bad regional ones. Actually, it's not unusual for Furia. Not regional one.
I mean,
regional
it
one's
can't really
regional one.
get bad though. Like in Sam, it can't get that bad.
Well, you
They have,
say
like,
that, but you
some
know,
good
you're,
teams.
the issue
But-
is like Furia in like regional 1 of the winter, for example, they finished like 7th, 8th, and that was the. Do you remember the winter split format last season where you have to do groups and then there's like the double
Yeah.
limb. So they
So we
finished
came
7th,
into
8th in
our-
the first one, and only 2 teams make land, so they're like way out of it. They got to do like really well in the next 2. So it's,
Yeah, but then they
it's
just
pressure.
focus up. That's like I bet they just had like low hours. Obviously they're adapting to NA. The lifestyle is different, but come on, I don't know. It's the same with Genji. Like obviously you guys have moved, and I bet homesickness is like a big factor, but I think it will be. It takes like adjusting for Furia, who are coming from a much like weaker region, to then having to play like the best every regional.
Noli, did you
Because
say
obviously the club have upset potential, but they don't have like the SSGs, the G2s, the phases that they like. If you don't beat them, you're not going to make major.
Noli, did you say it during this, or was it like the pre-call where you were saying how you felt like you were just at like a LAN event right now? Like you don't feel like you've settled in.
Yeah, I said it before. Like, I mean, I'm in Canada for a month until I can go for my visa interview. But it's just going from a hotel to a boot camp and then back to our hotel every day. So it gets very draining, Like I'm sitting here playing Rocket League for 10 to 12 hours a day with no other social interaction apart from Jack. So it's no, I won't say it's a bad thing, Me and Jack
With
vibe.
only
No,
Jack.
Jack just catching us straight there. Like it wasn't even intended.
Me and Jack have been vibing, but it's stressful. Like away from home, different food, different environment. No, not really any like of my close friends nearby. It does take a toll, but it's going to take some adjusting. But I think after a little bit, we'll be fine. As soon as it's public, but me and Jack are moving to Texas after this. If we get approved for our interview, they could just turn around and tell me no, and then I'm back to Europe I go. But
It does happen. It's been known to happen in the Rocket League world.
really,
For people to get declined their visa interview to America, yeah. But
Yeah. house.
I believe in you. I think you're good. I think you got this.
but
They
then
don't want the scouts in America. They don't want to spread it.
Yeah. Do you know any other like English accents other than Liverpool?
What kind of
What?
question is that?
What?
Are we doing
Like,
an
this-
accent, like talent show?
Accent.
Yeah. Do you know any other accents other
Do
than
we-
Liverpudlian?
No.
Okay,
Probably not.
yeah, you might have some issues then.
Yeah.
Hmm.
If you go into the interview, yes, lads.
Yeah, you could crash course.
What's going on, lads?
Just
Oh my
crash
God,
course,
CJ.
crash course Queen's English. Just crash course Queen's English. You can learn that in like a couple hours. Then they're gonna be like, "Oh my goodness, this guy's so smart. Get him in."
That's fact. Best of luck with it though. You don't want to stay in Canada forever.
No, I don't. I want to be in Texas.
he was literally just saying right at the beginning of the stream, how was your move to Canada? Oh, I just hate it. The food sucks. The people suck. The building sucks. I hate.
No, I didn't say about the people. I just haven't really spoke to anybody much, so I can't really get an accurate representation. But as soon as I'm in Texas and I'm settled, I'm in an apartment. I've got, my cat, because he's been left at home for now until I can bring him over.
Oh,
Has the cat got a passport yet?
No, which
Yeah,
I'll have.
you're gonna need a cat passport. A cat
Yeah,
port.
I know. I could smuggle him, but I'll get a cat passport. I shouldn't say that publicly. I'll get denied my.
I don't think you can smuggle a cat. Actually, that's really Is that not really hard? What
for
are you
legal
gonna do?
reasons, that was a joke.
I can put him in. Oh, no, I can't put him in a backpack. I don't know where I could.
The bags go through like a scanner. They're gonna see if there's a cat in there, man. They're gonna probably
Yeah, I think
notice.
you're in trouble. Johnny Depp tried to smuggle like dogs into Australia and they got deported.
But the dogs, just the dogs.
Just the
Yeah.
dogs.
Dogs.
Yeah. Send the dogs back. Yeah,
Does the
I think
cat have
so.
to interview?
No, he'll pass.
Does your cat speak Scouse as well?
Yeah, that's ropes if he does.
It's ropes.
Does he wear Air Max?
Air
Does he
Max?
walk around in Air Max?
110s, the 110s.
All 110s.
He's got like an Adidas tracksuit.
Yeah, puffer jacket.
Tech fleece.
Oh my.
All right, look,
Oh,
listen,
no.
we're getting off topic here. We've chatted about EU and NA, but now Rise is here. We can really talk about it's on everyone's mind. We haven't
Mhm.
spoken about the announcement yet. Let's talk about Sub-Saharan Africa. What's going on? They don't have a major spot. Rise, give me your thoughts.
I
Wait.
mean, it depends. Like, they should have a spot, right? But I don't know. If they don't have the budget, then it should go somewhere else.
Well,
Realistically,
there's budget to increase. CJ, what was the world's prize pool increased by?
So that's a good point. So for those that don't know, they did the announcement. Basically, APAC has merged. We'll chat about that in a second. But the prize pools for APAC used to be 15K for North and South. So that's 30K combined. They've merged the region, dropped it to 20K per regional, that is. So that's an
that's
extra
savings.
That's an extra $90,000 across 9 regionals. They saved 10K regional. So they now have 90 grand to work with here. And, they're like, gee whiz, this is exciting. 90 grand. Where are we going to put it? Righto. Let's, all right, SSA, they're not going to the majors. Let's pump 45 grand for the season into them. So an extra 5K. So they were on 15K regional. Now it's 20K. Boy, oh boy, $45,000 left. Should we give it to APAC considering we took it away from them? No. You know what we'll do? The World Championships was $2.085 million. Let's make that bad boy 2.1. Put 15K in there. Oh, 30K left. What do we do with this? 300K majors? Let's go 310, baby. Up in the prize pool. And that's what they do. APAC, unlucky.
Lucky hit back.
Bro,
We need to get
Oh,
Bert in
it's-
here. We need to get Bert in here to see
yeah,
what he thinks
Bert's
about
head in
this.
hands, bro.
Bert's devastated, man. Bert's
went for
Bert's
the-
in shambles, man.
Bert,
for the
was
Pele
midway
stuff.
through his flight, and then he saw the budget cuts. He's like, no fucking way.
He's an absolute shambles. He's been seen walking about Seoul just with tears in his eyes. He's
With his
devastated.
Sprite. With his Sprite.
Just for the Sprite.
I mean,
It's
look,
tough.
it's interesting because you'd feel like I'd rather just have 2 mil round number. Like, we're going to keep the prize pool
Yeah.
the same because it was like 2.085. Like, where's the extra, like, 85? Like, no one's really going to remember it. So I'd probably go the 2 mil. And then, you might have a bit of room there then to do like the SSA, jump that in there for the majors perhaps because obviously travel is a thing, getting them into the majors.
Mm.
But also, giving APAC, obviously they merged the region, dropped the prize pool. But this is sort of, a thing this season looks like. This is the first season we've kept the prize pool the same and the formats are very similar. And we're still going to 3 majors in a world. So they really are, I guess, building, would you say a bit of consistency, Johnny? Something like that?
Yeah, something like that. I feel like me personally, I don't see the point because I don't see how World's prize pool was even a big part of the show last year. I feel like it should have been a bigger part of it. Like it should have been made a bigger deal. that it was so much money. But some people think it doesn't matter. I actually asked the chat on Shotcast,
Yeah.
does it matter if the prize pool is more? And half of you guys said no. So I feel like we should just make Worlds free, actually, because apparently it doesn't matter to the
Yeah,
viewers.
no,
They
don't
don't
do
give a
that.
monkeys. They
Don't
don't give
do
a
that.
monkeys. And I asked, like, I think I asked T-Bates, does the prize money matter? And he said pros don't care. So actually, let's just make it free. Let's just make Worlds free.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we've got,
T-Base is
now
Watson,
we've
bro.
got,
T-Base is Watson.
now we've got 2 million. We've got 2 million budget to work with. I feel like we should
Put it
just
into
like, do it
APAC,
that
put it
way.
into
That should-
APAC.
Give it to
that
the
should-
casters. Let's give it to the casters, should we, Johnny? Give it to the
No, I
casters.
think we should definitely not give it to
I have
casters.
an
I feel
idea.
like we should give it to Sub-Saharan Africa first things first, and give it to, like, I don't know, second Middle East team for majors. There's like so much that I would do with the money that is not adding it to World's prize pool personally, but I'm not in charge of that. So
We can give the 2
probably a
million
good thing.
to
I
the
would cut the
bubble,
whole
and then
thing.
we can also give a part of that to Rizzo's watch parties at Worlds.
Yeah, they're expensive. So if we
Give
want
it
to
to
afford
the
this,
Dutch.
then
They're
it's
expensive.
expensive.
2 mil to the regainers. Imagine that.
2 mil to
Every
the regain
Tuesday, a
tournament.
$300,000 tournament.
Yeah, then people genuinely would be throwing to get into the regainers tournament.
100%.
True.
That would be just absolute chaos. Everybody would be in shambles.
Everyone's trying to throw the hardest. Like it's like a own goal competition. It's like opposite sides.
But no, like trolling aside, I don't see the point personally increasing World's prize pool by 0.01%. I don't think it makes a difference, but I think it makes a big difference to a region like APAC getting their prize pool cut by 33%. I think that's a much larger impact. I think no one will notice that the majors and World's prize pools change, but APAC will definitely notice. So I disagree with that one personally. I don't see the logic there, but I guess they wanted to make it the same as SSA because that's the only thing I can see that's happened is that they've.
I just think this
they've,
season's
made those the
boring.
same.
Like it feels just like the continuation of last season.
Yeah, there's
I
no
just think it's
difference
boring.
whatsoever.
There's nothing new. Like they
Literally
really just...
zero new things. It's the same formats. It's the same prize pool. It's the same prize split. Like it's just boring.
Well,
bro.
what would you want changed besides
Oh,
like
everything,
prize pool
like,
being
switch
20
it
million?
up. I'd switch it all up. Well, that as well. But like, I just switch, like, make it completely new. I think that'd be way better. Because
What-
RLCS was like the same thing in terms of like format, basically.
Well, don't you think last season went really well, all things considered?
I mean, it went really well, but like, it's just I don't know.
After a while, I
I
get
feel like they
stale.
should. Yeah.
I've got a question for the room, and this is like my biggest thing that I would personally want. So right now, like I'm a big fan of F1, and F1 they kind of do the same thing every time. Like qualification is the same, unless there's a sprint happening. But who cares about sprints? So unless there's a sprint happening, you do qualification, and it's the same format for qualification every time. Then you do the race. Race is the same format every time, and that seems to work. And I'm thinking, why do we do one like format in the fall and then a totally different one in the winter? Because in my mind, I feel like online events and LAN events are trying to do a very different thing. I think that one of them is trying to figure out what the best teams in a region are and make sure that they, you know, consistently get the top 5 in NA and EU, top 2 in OCE and SAM, etc., and you know, top 1 in well, all the other regions. But then when you get to a major, you're trying to make sure that, okay, we don't really know how all these regions stack up against each other. Let's make sure that we, you know, figure out a format that's at the same time fair, but also really, really, really exciting. And I feel like having one majors format and all the majors of that format would be the cool way to figure it out. And then having like EU and NA can figure out whatever format's best for their regionals, but it'll probably be different from OCE because OCE is trying to get top 2, not top 5. I don't know. I don't know where the whole let's do one format for one split thing came from, other than experiment. For me, it looked like experimentation. Didn't they start doing that in RLCS Season X? I think they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like an experiment when it happened, and now we've just kept doing it, and I don't see the point. But what do you guys think? Do you think that doing one format for a whole split is a good idea?
It changes something up, but like Swiss is awful. Easily the worst format.
Wait,
Swiss is
really?
Shit.
Really?
Yeah.
I hate Swiss.
Really?
It's dog shit.
I
Bro,
thought
why?
it was like
split one, you say Queso did bad, but
Yeah,
the
I'm back.
teams we played literally split the first regional. We lost to BDS, Endpoint, who were the best at that point, or like top 2 with BDS,
We lost to
and
Dig so
Dignitas,
much,
who are
yeah.
also the best team. Like, you just get fucked in matchups. You can
Wait,
beat
Well,
like
wait, would a double limb be like worse though?
No?
no, because you don't get those same teams. You can't play the top 3
But-
teams in a row.
But you could. All it takes is for like BDS to troll like they did in London.
Yeah.
Now, boom, you're against BDS lower bracket round 1.
My
Swiss is
issue
dog
with
shit, bro.
my issue with Swiss.
You got fucked by
Swiss
Swiss
is
one
dog shit.
time, and you just think the whole
No,
wait,
we
no,
got-
no, wait.
Bro, look at the split, bro. We lost. I think so. We lost 9 times in Swiss, or no, 8 times because we made it once to top 8. We lost. I think 6 out of those 8 games were against the major teams.
6 out of the 8.
I think 6 out of the 8 losses, or 7 out of 9 losses, that split were against major teams.
I think the thing I hate about Swiss is that it can benefit you losing the first game, because if you lose and then win the next game, you also play another team that just lost in your game after, so you get more momentum and you can go 2-1 easier. If you go 1-0 and then lose again, you play a team that wins in your 1-on-1 match and they have momentum. But if you lose and then win 2, you have the momentum against teams without it both times. And then also you can get messed up by matchups as well, really hard.
I like groups.
Yeah,
I like
you have to lose 3 times. That's a lot of chances.
Chrome knows something about losing 3 times, don't you, Chrome? Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just uncalled for.
Just so
Oh
left
my
field.
goodness.
It's just a low blow.
He was not wrong about like not giving PR answers though. I mean that's far away from PR. Oh dear. On the Chrome though, what do you guys think about the new look SSG? They didn't do too well in I forget the preseason tournament, but now they did pretty well and they did.
Oh, we did
perfectly
second that one.
Yeah, we did second the whole
We
You
did
world.
second.
you guys were nice in that one with high ping.
Noah had a world class
weird cars.
performance against Rogue.
We were cold. We had our coach sub in for Rogue, but not on the stream. It was
Rizzo had to get off the stream.
What do you think is
Wait,
going
for
to happen
what?
to SSG though?
When we brought in Noah, and you were like, I don't think I can show this on the main stream.
Oh,
so we went to another game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's class. So, what do you think SSG will be better without
Yeah.
Rattles and plus LJ?
Yeah, for sure.
Weren't they good in
think-
the
I think
quals?
SSG
thought they were
are
good in the
now-
quals.
Probably the best team in NA.
Really?
Just like on paper, I think they're the best team in NA.
So you
I
don't-
think-
you
Like
don't
they
like
clear the
mist?
rest of NA?
You
or-
don't like mist to phase?
You-
as
I
much?
think they
Wait,
clear NA.
Nolly's been scrimming them. Well, what do you think, Nolly?
I'd still say G2. G2's 1, and then I'd say SSG2.
Well, careful with that. Hey, you might not know G2's a scrim team. Okay, a big scrim team goes back years
Scrim-actors.
in the making to become the best scrim team in the world. Unstoppable.
Scrim team. They
8-0
won a
scrims.
major. They won a major, but they're a scrim team.
No, they're undefeated in scrims. They sometimes lose in tournaments. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'd like to see G2 versus EG RLCS 21-22 in scrims versus each other. I'd like to see that matchup.
G2 versus EG.
Bro, last
EG's a
season,
scrim team
EG.
too.
Unbeatable in scrims. Nolly, did you have the same thing? EG last season were different gravy in
Different
scrims.
Different gravy.
They were different gravy, bro.
You know who's the best scrim team ever? The one with it was Talks, Exotic, and somebody else. On
Oh my
solo.
god. Yeah, I know what you
So
mean.
good in scrims.
Was it Econ? Was it Econ? Who was
Bro,
it?
look.
We're in Econ, no way.
Carrion. It was Carrion. It was Carrion.
Carrion,
I think it was Carrion.
Was
And
it? Was
then
it?
they had Train Hard as well, like Melishisu, Exotic, scrim player, and
Screw player.
and who's the other one? I think it was I think that was Carrion as well. They were different, bro. They, were
They
so
used to
good.
pre-jump
They just
each other. They
Yeah,
pre-jumped
yeah,
each
yeah.
other all game, like freestyle, and they score every shot.
So, do you know CJ's word for players like this? Because you might like it if you haven't heard it.
Well, when he was in Sweden, it was Joyo. Joyo. I remember him calling him a scrim player.
No,
Well,
they're all
yeah.
scrim actors. They're all scrim actors.
Scrim-actors.
So they're only good in scrims and ranked.
Oh,
One
scrim
scrim actor that I've got for you guys that I'm going to ask you, Noli, because you would have scrimmed him now. Tell me, Magic Bear in scrims. Have you experienced that yet?
Bro, he's performing in tournaments, so
Yeah, maybe he can't be a scrim actor anymore because he's on a team that's going to do
True.
well.
He's not good in
longer a
ranked.
scrim actor.
really good player. I doubt it.
He's not good in ranked, you said?
Me and Joyo had some experiences when we were at Worlds, bro. Magic Bear had some
I prefer not to
fraudulent.
speak. I prefer
He
not
had
to
some
speak.
fraudulent twos hobbies, bro. Magic Bear was
Fraudulent.
chucking some twos.
He's been playing good with Optic though. He's been playing good with them.
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
fair.
he has.
Yeah. He's like really
He's
good.
my man. I'm watching him. In
I
scrims, he was a freak. Triple flip reset to everything. He was just absolutely peaking. So now he's on a good team.
Playing really
Optic's
good.
looking good. I want to ask you about Optic and FaZe Noli. Tell me, how are they looking? New lineups.
I mean, I play FaZe on Friday.
Ooh.
I genuinely do. Like, we got battered in the last tournament, but that was just nerves, getting out of the way. But I think on Friday it's going to be a bigger difference. We could win, we could not, but I think it'll be a lot closer. And then Optic.
You dodged the question.
No. Optic play how they do in scrims. So like they're not great. They're not going to win majors, but they're going to make. I think they'll make all 3 majors.
Our phase good.
Yeah, phase. I mean, it's when you've got a team who is first skill, typical, and missed. It's bound to be good.
Are you better?
Yeah.
Am I
Are you gonna
better?
win?
Of course. I wouldn't be a pro player if I didn't back myself.
What's the series score?
No, I said before it'd be close.
He said close, so it's got to be 3-2, right?
Yeah, 3-2.
That's PR. What do you actually think? 3-0. Surely.
I do think
PR.
But-
That's PR.
Like they haven't figured out their playstyle yet. We'll see this Friday, mate.
What about?
Do you agree at all with that in terms of obviously a new team though? Like that's a fair thing to say.
We haven't been a team for a while. We sort of guarantee, like, we are figuring out playstyles. We're working as we go along. We did team by guaranteeing each other just a spot. We were like, let's team before we even scrimmed. So
I remember
What
I was in
about-
Bali with Jack,
you wasn't.
yeah?
and he was like, "We haven't even scummed yet," but he was always confident.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
important to be confident.
No, I rate it. I rate it.
What about NRG then? Or what NRG's not changed anything? People were some people
I
were
was just about to
expecting a
bring that
change.
up.
It's not looking good.
They did play them. Genji did play them in the top 16.
Again, that top 16, it after we lost, it was out of my mind. It was like our first tournament, a lot of nerves, and we lost. Frankly, we shouldn't lose to. But it's in the past. It was just it just came down to being nervous, and that was it.
It was fraudulent,
you-
wasn't it?
Never happen again.
Did you play on RG?
Yeah, I did. I lost to them. Well, I lost in 2 overtimes, while we were all nervous and playing pretty shit.
But do you expect NRG to make majors this season?
That's not even a question, bro. I don't even bring that up.
Wow,
Why-
what do you mean?
Why is that? Why is that not even
I-
a
Of course
question?
not.
I don't.
They ain't making majors.
Yeah, I don't. I like them.
Wow.
I like all 3 of them. But
Man, we need to. Rizzo, you gotta get Rise on every week.
I
man.
gotta
Let's
get
all
Rise
the
on
dub
every
here.
single week.
Yeah,
That's
no.
crazy.
Let's go. Holy clickbait. This is insane.
What's stopping? What's holding NRG back?
they just need to make a change. Like,
I agree.
Who's gotta go? Who's gotta go? Come on.
Just not Justin. In my opinion, just not Justin. Or Justin goes in front of someone else. I still think Justin's really good, in my personal opinion.
I think all 3 of them are good. It's just a stale team. If they all went off and did different things, they'd perform well on each of their own teams.
That's what I thought was going to happen. I thought that they were just going to go and do their own things because they didn't have the results, and it didn't seem like they were really enjoying themselves when I ran into them at LANs. I was like, I don't know, it feels bad because they're just all having a bad time, but they stuck together. So I was kind of surprised. I thought they were just all going to go their own way, or maybe one person would leave, and that they would still all individually do well, but they've stuck it out. So
They went
Let's
through an open qualifier. It's still too early to say. Like, the regional hasn't even started. So we
Nah,
can't.
my
but
worry-
NRG, bro. They can't go open quals. It's NRG. Like, you can't. That's unacceptable in itself. You can't go to open quals when you're NRG. You have to be going 3-0 in closed.
but what
Things change.
what's so you think that if they're going through open quals that they're not going to be happy, or do you think NRG's mentality
if I was
changed?
them, I couldn't be. If I came second in the first major, and then I lose to some washed players in the second major, in LA, and then
Didn't
you come into
Did they lose to us?
Yeah, you
And then
you guys
go into the
eliminated them
third
in NA,
major.
man.
You go into the third major, you make the video saying we've got unfinished business, and then you don't make it. You can't expect to do good this season. That is such a flop thing to do, bro. You can't make the
But that's right. That's why I'm saying. Do you think they've had a change of mentality? Because it looked like in the last season their mentality was unfinished business. We've got to bounce back. But maybe they're just going content route. We're just gonna see what happens this time around.
Yeah, but that's flop. You can't
No.
go content route when you're a pro. No one wants to do that.
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Yeah, but you're not a pro anymore. You're not a pro anymore, Rizzo.
No,
You just
you,
went,
dude. What do you mean? Yeah, not anymore. I understand that, but you said nobody wants to do that when they're pro.
But Rizzo wanted to do it when he's a pro. For
But when you're-
ages.
Yeah, because Rizzo knew he was finished.
No, like no, Rise.
Bro,
No, he
I was not
accidentally.
finished.
He wanted
I
to go
stepped
pro,
down.
and then he won NA by mistake. He won season 9 totally by accident. He was gonna retire, then he's like, "Whoops, accidentally won. Better continue."
Yeah, I won on accident, bro, because it was content route. I was just having fun. I was having energy fall split meta.
Wait, you
Yeah,
won
and
it?
how did that end up?
They
They
won.
lost.
He won the season. Maybe not for NRG, but like
No,
for
I'm talking
Rizzo, it
about
worked.
NRG, full split. It didn't work. If you can't win like that, then
Wait, they
GG.
got second, right? Or I think
Yeah,
it's
that
pretty-
was like
win.
I think they peaked though, like to get second. I think the fun meta was what got them part of what got them second. Without that, they're not making top 8. Like they needed fun meta.
Okay,
to,
we're
like,
just
boost
speculating
them.
now, but they're finished. Let's get to the.
That's not speculation at all.
He's just
That's
saying
not
that as it's
speculation.
I said,
Oh,
skip
I
the
see.
speculation. They're done out, like ropes.
Okay, I was
To be fair,
surprised.
they'll never.
Wow.
There's no way anyone thinks they'll ever get back to what they were.
They
There's no
can't,
chance.
bro. They
There's no
can't.
chance.
With this roster,
They have
anyway,
to
they
make a
can't.
play.
I'm
Yeah,
not saying
I
they're finished individually, but this roster is finished.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
I was
agree.
surprised that none of them tried to leave and like go into free agency and like just get. See, as what CJ was saying, I got the business mindset. You go
Get
into
the
free
bag.
agency, you
Yep.
get a crazy offer. As any one of those three will get a nutty, the
Feel it out,
highest
you know?
highest paid NA player hands down. Any of them.
Mm-hmm.
Are they already not? Like, surely they get paid a lot already, no?
I mean, they got to.
Well,
They're
what
up there.
we're
They're
saying is
close.
that if that's what you're getting paid, if you're gonna leave, you're gonna
Yeah.
get paid more. Like somebody would have to pay more for you to leave. So why didn't that happen? Is
They
what
should
we're
have
thinking.
just, filled it out, just test the waters a little bit. But I agree. I think it's more, I think, Rise, you said it's a bit stale. Maybe Noly, you said that. But yeah, I think the roster, they're stuck in their ways a little bit. So when they might be trying to do a few new things, but it feels like when, they're really pressure gets in, they get back to like that style because they've been together for so long and they just go back to what they know, even if they're trying to mix it up. So,
But
Um,
they got top 8 at Worlds, so it's like, personally, I don't think any team who got top 8 at Worlds should change because it's still pretty good. And you
yeah,
can
but
always-
I nearly got top 8 at Worlds.
no way. What?
What are you trying to say?
Most
Why,
recent
why'd you
Worlds?
say it like that?
He backflipped versus NRG to let them win for the retirement video. Like really
Would have
hit
got top
him
8 if we beat NRG.
powerfully.
Oh really? Oh,
Yeah,
He-
because
he
he,
knew the
backflipped
video
versus
was gonna
NRG, and
play.
then they would have been versus Semper with COVID.
With
So,
COVID.
like he
Okay.
actually could have. Like CJ's not wrong.
So NRG made top 8 by beating someone who had an announcement video pre-made.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then beat
Come
Sample
on,
with
bro.
COVID.
No, to be fair, Kami, that entire event, Kami was peaking.
He was.
Nah, that's
And
just
now
Kami
he's
was
in
normal.
APAC.
going great.
That's
He
not
was
even
going really good.
peaking for Kami. That's just normal.
He
That's
goes.
just another day.
Now
for
he's
Kami.
gonna go run in APAC.
That was not
Yeah.
a normal day for. That wasn't a normal day for Kami. I mean,
Yeah, it's just a normal day for Kami, bro.
sure, was that a normal day for Kami, CJ? I thought
That
he was
was
playing better than he normally did. I've played him at 2 lands now. Like
Yeah,
in
that
scrims
was
and
Yeah,
the
stuff,
but
best.
he
you
was
see, the
better
thing
then.
is, at the other ones he was slumping, and now he's back to that was Worlds.
That was
back
the
to his
best.
normal.
That was the best land he's played since like season 6 Chiefs when they like
Yeah, I
rolled
thought he,
NRG
like,
and stuff.
I thought he stepped up from the last times I played him in like the majors and stuff.
Superb
Scrims.
segue though. Kami, obviously APAC team. We've got the first time ever that, well, unless you say that Jack and Noli are moving to an inferior region, but that's up for debate.
That's
But
true. Not
now
for
we've
debate.
got we've
The,
got
the
After
you know,
last
region,
season,
the
I
region
don't think it's up for
has
debate,
gotten
though.
stronger.
yes, well, true. So
It's not a 5-team region anymore. 16.
we've had Sam teams going to NA to the bigger, better, more money. First time we've got, we don't have a team. We've got a bunch of players just from everywhere going to APAC to an inferior region in terms of money. Perhaps not skill, but well for Vert it is for skill because he's going from EU to APAC. I'm not going to say that OCE is better than APAC, and I'm not going to put any words in anyone's
I
mouth.
mean, it is.
but-
but-
They're going to a smaller region. The first time. What are your thoughts on that? Obviously, your EU boys are close. Rise close with Vert. What are your thoughts on an EU play going to APAC and having a crack down there?
Can
I
I
mean,
make
it's
a
free
bold
majors.
claim? Yeah, can I make a bold claim before
course.
you
Please.
talk to me?
Yes.
Vert's winning worlds.
Okay.
All right. It's a bold.
Keep
clip.
it to
You're right.
yourself.
Really bold.
Vert's winning worlds. with the sprite in hand,
With a Sprite in hand.
he's gonna win
Wow.
worlds.
That is bold.
It is NASCAR.
No, yeah, I see him getting like top 9 to 12 at Worlds.
You think they're gonna get top 9, 12?
Yeah, why? I mean, why not?
Because I don't think they're the top 12 team. That's why not.
If
Vert,
Renegades can do
Realize,
it,
Kami.
then
You gotta remember they're gonna be scrimming APAC teams day in day out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like they are gonna get worse. They'll get worse. Like who are they playing in ranked? Maru day in day out. Like
whoa.
let's face it.
Can't just name one person.
No, but it's levels, bro. There's levels to this game. You go from CRR, obviously he's now gone to NA, but he's a 2's demon and Dorito
Facts, facts.
to APAC players. There's
No,
levels
they-
to this game.
I've heard that they are trying to scrim on OCE servers. I don't know if that's wrong.
Wait, can you queue US West from Korea?
US West is about 130 ping, and they have been playing
Playable?
US West, and they have been
Playable?
scrimming OCE, been scrimming Pioneers and stuff.
Yeah,
all
I've
I'm
heard
saying,
that
all I'm
it's
saying
gonna
is the South
Okay, they're good
American
streams. They're
players.
good streams.
Yeah, the SAM players play US East with 140, so 130 West. Hey, it's doable. They're gonna be fine.
Wait, Sam get 130 on US East?
Yeah.
Bro,
No serious NA teams coming them though.
in Liverpool, I got 80 ping on US East. I got
Yeah,
better.
yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. That's because it's geographically closer, mate. It's very close, actually.
Really?
Here you go. OSM says they've been streaming OCE and MENA scrims for the most part.
Oh, yeah,
Ooh.
they can get the Mina scrims in there.
How do they get Mina
Oh,
scrims?
Oh, true.
Oh wait,
They're not
facts.
that far.
Ooh,
Yeah, they're not.
that's
I'm just
interesting.
geographically,
Yeah.
Joyo. Wait, how
Nah,
do they get MENA?
I don't go to school.
There must be 100 ping though from both ways. I'm pretty sure it'd be like 100 to OCE, 110.
I mean,
know
I
what
guess
I
if they
mean.
scrim not Sam, Middle Eastern teams, they'd have to play on APAC. Do APAC servers like even work well? 'Cause I swear like Middle Eastern servers don't work, and that's why all Middle Eastern players play EU.
I'm sure there's good ones
Mm.
if you can find them.
No, like he means like the ranked servers are very unstable.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
You might just get
But
a
for
bad
scrims?
one. Not for
But
well,
scrims,
yeah.
surely I don't know.
You find
I
a
don't
good
know how
one
it
for
works.
streams. 80 ping?
like
That's
80
pretty
ping.
good.
So hey, ping us over both very cool.
Are those servers Japan?
Yeah, that's definitely playable.
Wait, no,
Not bad.
not bad
But yeah,
at all.
like they went for 3 majors, they went for 3 worlds. Surely, like
Also, it sounds like they're having a good time out there. Like from what they're.
I mean,
Sweet,
you
yeah.
would, right? It's a pretty sick place.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
it looks
really
pretty
want to
cool.
show this picture that Joyo sent, but I don't know if I can.
What the Sprite?
Was that
Sprite.
like a personal picture? How'd you get that? Was it on Twitter?
No, it was in a Discord server. Finley, do you think it'd be fun to?
I just thought
To
that to me, bro.
show this sprite.
It's not
this
down
sprite
to me
picture.
either. It's not down to me either.
No, no, no.
It's
If it was in a
You guys-
Discord, I'm not showing it.
Basically, it's
pretty-
just a picture of Kami and Vert, and they're like in front of loads of food and Sprite, and they're
I
looking
mean,
happy.
to be
There
fair,
you go.
just
Yeah,
so
they're having a
everybody's
good
not
time.
like, oh my goodness, what is this controversial thing that they're getting up to? They're at
Yeah,
Korean
no, it's
barbecue
not
and they've
bad.
got a bunch of Sprite. Like it's nothing.
Yeah,
weird.
it's,
Like, they're
they,
just
they,
getting-
they have Sprite aprons on, and they have a tower of Sprite cans, and they're eating a Korean barbecue.
Yeah, I want somebody
And
to
they-
draw it,
yeah.
and I'll tell you if it looks right.
That's a good idea. It's actually just a dinner picture. That's it. Yeah, it's very
Yeah, yeah,
controversial.
dinner.
But no, it's good for them. They're over there, and it's. I think it. You know, there was a lot of talk about they're taking up a spot from APAC players. Well, one, they are with Realize still, and two, I think it. As if they're scrimming against APAC teams, they're playing in the ranked as well a little bit. Like it can only improve the region, surely, getting better
It
players.
will improve the region, but I think they'll get worse.
Yeah, it's like there's like
Yeah.
a gravitational pull to the middle ground. Like they're up here, and then they're gonna meet like here.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, one
I
team
mean,
can
you
only do
naturally
so
get
much.
worse playing worse players.
Yeah.
Well, I think
But
I think it's
I think
good
it's
if they're
fine.
scrimming MENA teams for sure.
Well, we talked
Yeah.
about this. Like the right way to move regions would be to like actually become a part of that region's improvement, and not just like arrive for the qualifier, do the event, and leave.
Just
So I
leave.
think they're doing it right. They're out there.
They're in the ecosystem, which is important. Like,
Yes.
yeah, if they were just flying in and then playing, that'd be
Yeah.
the most BM thing ever. They were
That'd
just
be
flying in for the
cringe.
weekend,
That'd be
3-0
so
-ing.
cringe.
and then leaving.
Like
I
how
mean,
long is-
it only takes a few people to come in to make more people want to come in, and then slowly the people who are like flying into APAC and these other regions start playing each other, and they're better, and then the APAC players themselves get better by playing them. Like,
Well, you know what could happen is I'm not even thinking too much about like the success of this team in Rocket League, but if they just have an amazing time and they tell all of these other Rocket League players and teams like, actually this is sick, like Soul's awesome, you guys should totally come out here and be a team as well, you're gonna love it. Then I could see other teams going, and they also skip the part where they need to learn about the country because Kami and Vert just do it for them and realize, and they could just go along and get shown everything. I don't know, I could see other teams following in their footsteps if it ends up being a fun experience.
I mean, my voice cracked. OSM's there as well, so
Yeah,
Oh,
someone
OSM's
there.
in South Korea as well.
I don't know. If,
I don't know
I
if
don't
he's
know
in
where
South
he
Korea,
is.
but he's in MENA.
Yeah, he's APAC. He's in APAC.
APAC, yeah, I'm getting confused.
Oh yeah, he's APAC, but probably. Well, actually, wasn't he in chat? OSM. I think I saw
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, he
OSM, where
was.
are you
He's
right
probably
now?
still near.
He's in Bali.
He's in
Bali.
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 He's
Go
hanging.
to Finn's Beach Club, bro. Go Finn's Beach Club. It's sick.
He's got the hookups. Just tell him Rob sent you.
Rob said you.
Rob.
But in terms of it opens up a spot or it opens up, I guess, the possibility this season because we've got these different scenarios, right? We've got teams going to a spot or a region for the major spots, but then we've also got like a Noly situation who you guys haven't really gone because it's like easier spots. You've gone for the opportunity. So I think that we probably see this more, as you said, next season, these different situations of South American teams or other guys going to North America for opportunity. But also, will we see like guys going to SSA or something to lock those spots? And what do you think about that in terms of like land spots in the future? You think that's fine having not just EU players have the EU spots and NA for NA, stuff like that?
I don't know. It's weird. Like, I don't think the people like the SSA players can complain because whilst they're not going to make major, for example, if there's one SSA spot, obviously there's not this season, but if there was one SSA spot and a sort of 6th to 8th level, like let's say EU team, so like a team that's like 6, so let's say Misfits last season, if they went to SSA for a free major spot, SSA can't complain because they're getting a really good team to scrim against and play against. They're not going to make majors, but you're going to improve from playing them. So I don't know. I don't think you can complain if those teams move.
But what if
Imagine a team moved to SSA and then they still didn't get a major spot because SSA don't have any major spots. That'd be a fun one for a team signing up.
I understand like the spirit of competition with that, but I would actually mold if I waited 6 years for my region to be added, and then immediately some team moves and just takes my spot.
I was gonna say it improves the region, but if you're coming in up here and the region's down here, you're still taking the one spot the whole time. So the region's going like that, but like they're still never getting that opportunity on the international stage. So it's like
it's
a
not
two-part
fair.
thing.
Well, no,
It's
one
not
thing
fair.
it does do though, it does put eyes on the region as well. So the viewership will
Not
probably
really.
see a boost. I feel like it does because see if
Everyone
there's
wants to
enough
watch
publicity.
APAC.
Let's say NRG after the failed season that Rise and
Oh, no.
maybe more are
Don't
like
say it.
well, let's say that like they have a failed season like you're anticipating, then they just move to APAC. Everyone's watching APAC. That's just an example. It's not going to happen, but like
It's an
in
extreme
that
example.
world, if they did go, everyone would watch it because they'd want to see
But
if
no,
NRG's gonna lose.
Johnny, yeah, you have a point. But how many people are going to go watch Misfits? Jorby and like who?
Joby's jumped shit, bro.
He has. He
Joby's
jumped.
Brazilian
He was
now.
a Misfits fan and he gave up on them. He just went to
Yeah.
Furia
I
for
feel
the
like
check.
that's not fair.
Joby wants the Brazil flag around his shoulders now. Even
No,
though he's
it's
outside his house.
I'll tell you when people will watch. It's like, let's say like the Vert, Realize and Kami don't win the first regional. Now everybody's going to be talking about it. Like they went over
But
the
that's what I'm
spot, they're
saying.
not even getting it.
If NRG, for example, moved to APAC after a failed season this season, no one's watching the like. No one wants to watch the region. No one cares about like the actual region in itself. They just want to see NRG. And if you then take NRG out of that region, it goes back to no one watching it again. You actually need the region to.
Okay, I won't say
I don't
nobody,
know,
but
I
there's a
don't
small
know.
percentage of people.
No, you know
If
what I
a
mean.
team,
Like,
if a team
yeah.
clap them and like hit them with a bunch of clips, they're gaining fans. Like they're gonna gain fans. That's how like every team that beats the guy becomes the guy
that's not
themselves.
going
is
to
'cause they
happen
clip
like
on the
from
guy.
the start. And people would only watch like the first few regionals to go, are NRG actually going to lose? And then they
Alright.
realize, oh, they haven't dropped a game in 6 months.
So do you think
I'm
it's
not watching anymore.
100% chance that Virtuoso, Realize, and Kami win the APAC
Yeah.
spot? You think it's like
Yeah.
there's no chance that they don't
I
win
would
it?
say 99% chance.
Unless like OSM's team show levels or something.
That's not going to happen in my books, but it could, I guess.
do you
I
mean
just
by
don't
that?
see it.
In my
I just
books,
don't
I've
see
done
it,
the,
bro.
I've run the
I
Who's
just
the
numbers.
don't
rest?
see it.
Who's the rest of
Bro,
OSM's
OSM,
team?
OSM, be honest. Do you think you're going to beat that team? Like, be 100% honest in your heart. Do you think... I don't know who's on your team. But do you think you're going to win against them?
It's OSM, Maxu, and LCT. So it's the
To be
gladiators.
fair,
Get the...
Maxu slept on, and so is LCT, but they're not going to beat the Realize and Kami.
Get ready
It's
for
just
regional
not
one.
gonna I'll be watching, and so should everyone else in chat. Go and
There you
watch.
go.
What time
we
is
just
that
create the
start, by
story.
the way? What time do I have to be awake to watch that one? Wait,
no,
is it
it's-
next weekend or the weekend after?
It's this
I
weekend.
think it's this weekend.
It's
Yeah.
Oh
this
my
weekend,
God.
and I can tell you now, it'll start in 8 hours time from like now, like in 7 minutes. So
10
whatever
a.m.
time it is.
11
on
a.m.
that
for me.
on that day, so
Wait.
8 hours from now on that day.
No, you're
Yeah.
So
kidding.
That's 6
Yeah.
a.m. I think.
Four,
NA.
It's 5 a.m. for me.
4 a.m. for me.
Oh,
Well, you're
this
not
is-
going to be watching, are you?
9 p.m.
If you're a true
maybe.
fan of Rocket
I'll be
League,
there.
you'll stay up.
But that's just the start. You can catch the final. Like
When's,
that's
yeah,
way
when's
later.
the big game?
The
that's a good
final's going to
point.
be like 5 hours after that, like at your 11 a.m.
It says 3 hours after that, so like 8
It says
a.m.
2 p.m. for me.
Oh wait, yeah, it's shorter this time. Okay, maybe never mind.
Yep.
But yeah, it is not like
Mm.
5. It'll be like 8 in the morning.
Their
or
day
something,
two
like,
is
first thing.
it's only 2 days, so their day 2 is very long. Okay, possible. I can get up at like 8 a.m. That's possible.
I mean, it's just the final is the only one that matters, really, if it gets down to it. Like,
Yeah.
for who who's getting the number 1 spot. If you really just want to keep an eye on who's going to get that major spot, that's all you care about. As an international viewer, then yeah, just watch the finals.
Possible. Yeah.
But tune
not
in as
lying.
well. We're not going to tell you not to watch APAC until the finals if you want to watch
No,
it.
all I'm saying is like that's
Yeah.
that's like if all you want to do if your week is full of Rocket League, you got no extra space for Rocket League, but you want to know who's my favorite NA team or EU team going to be playing at the majors, then you'll know that just from watching the finals is what I'm saying. Like if you've got no extra time, but if you've got extra time, like these shows are very entertaining to put on.
Vert's team
Chuck it on
don't
the
have an
second
org
monitor.
though. Yeah, actually, they're not gonna win. They don't have an org.
They're
I
a
think
bubble
they're
team.
in talks with a few. I think that the other huge thing as well is that if say you're a Vert who's like outside the EU ecosystem of making majors, you come to APAC, you
Bubble
know
play.
you can present an org an opportunity of like, hey, we are
Bubble's generous.
Bubble's generous.
we are like you can say we're a 99% chance, as Rise said, because he's run the numbers. You're a 99% chance of every major in Worlds. So it's looking
That's big,
you know,
yeah.
an org will want to pick you up, won't they?
That's big.
For
Yeah.
that.
So that's a
That's
lot of
all we'll
eyes. A
care
lot of
about.
eyes on the majors and worlds.
I think the one other topic we can't gloss over just with this, changing region is that obviously Rizzo is devastated that Forky. Unfortunately, he
I was
came
gonna
over to
bring it up.
OCE
I'm
and
so
it was
glad you
looking
did.
so good. He did actually have some tryouts. That was that went public last night. Well, didn't I was say it went
No,
public. but
he
we chatted
mentioned it
about
on
last
stream
night
2
on the
weeks ago.
Youngest-
I've been watching the stream.
Oh,
Don't worry
okay,
about
so
it. He
yeah,
mentioned it
Forky's
religiously.
2
mentioned
weeks
it.
ago. Yes,
He had some
religiously.
tryouts, Forky, and unfortunately, just it didn't work out for him. So he ended up, back in the North
Did
American.
he get rejected by OCE teams? Are you joking?
He did get
yeah.
rejected by an OCE
He
team.
tried out for power. He said it on stream.
He tried out for Power, and
Oh
Power
my
did not want him. So now he's back in North America and back on the grind, and maybe next season he can venture back down. But Rizzo, what are your thoughts on this? Just overall, I know
Okay.
you watch every minute of Forky's stream.
Okay, first off, stop laughing. That's
Bro, that's
disrespectful.
jokes.
But
Did he travel to? Did he go to OCE?
yes, he did. He went.
Yeah.
He went to OC. He was chilling there for like I don't know, maybe a week, 2 weeks. I don't know, something like that. But he was streaming from OC too, and I mean, it's kind of obvious. He had like, why else would he go and have like a whole streaming setup and So he had
NA
tryouts
is
and-
officially finished, ladies and gentlemen. NA is officially finished. He went to OCE and he got rejected. GG. Go next. Unlucky.
But yeah, no, it was a tragedy. We were talking about how like energy going to APAC or whatever, and Vert going to APAC, all that stuff. But seriously, if Forky went to OCE and got that power spot, I legitimately feel like that would
Yeah,
be
you would-
10K viewers
watch.
watching extra,
Yeah.
10K extra viewers watching the OCE stream that first regional. 100%.
Like there's popular players who right now are very good at the game, but at some point in the probably like near future, we're talking years, are not going to be good at the game, such as the nature of esports and Rocket League. Like, why not? Yeah, why not just go and have a
Get the
year
bag.
in, like, yeah, just go get a year in
It's like-
another region.
It's like footballers that go to like the MLS and the Chinese league.
Yes, exactly.
It's the same exact thing.
Get the bag.
NBA players
was
going
like-
to like Israeli leagues as well, stuff like that.
I just thought we'd talk about the you know, obviously Forky not making it. And someone in chat said, well, obviously it was Forky or Fever. You're going to choose Fever. But I said, well, actually, no, they were trying out some combinations. And he's like, oh, well, your word against mine then, mate. I was like, yeah.
Well then,
Sorry,
if
mate.
it comes to
You
that,
know
I
about
don't know
it. All good.
I don't know who to believe anymore. Like,
I honestly respect to that bloke for sticking strong because he knows more than I do.
Rizzo.
Yeah.
Well, who are the combinations, CJ?
They were just trying out different power, like just different combos of power.
like maybe they have
So-
4 players who are trying every different iteration.
Yeah.
Sounds like Vitality. New roster coming through in EU. Thoughts?
Yeah, they've got who's it ended up as? It's Alpha, Redosa, and
Sazin.
Says
And
Sazin.
Zen. And Zen.
Sazin and Zen, who are like twos perma couple.
Wait, so who does Zen replace as soon as he turns? Well, as soon as
Whoever's the shittest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
from what
I guess
from what
this is
I've
a tryout.
heard- Yeah, from what I've heard, like there's no one set to be kicked. It's literally just whoever they deem as the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is the worst because now, like, you know,
Hey,
everybody-
I would
They're
hate that,
fighting
bro.
for it.
I
no,
would
it's not.
hate
It's not
that,
even.
bro.
It's not even fighting for the ability. Well, it depends who gets to pick. Because if it's entirely down to Zen, then obviously you got to play well. But if it's all politics, we've talked about this before. Like the problem with like Rocket League being 3
two
players, you just have to be friends with one of the other players, and then.
Bro, it's gonna be
agree to
Dicky in
screw the other
Central,
guy.
bro. Vitality's gonna be Dicky in Central. It's actually gonna be like who can nosh each other off the hardest so they don't pick each other. Bro, it is, bro. It is.
Oh my
I can't
god.
wait, bro. Bro, I would hate that though. If me, Joyo and Astral pre-signed Zen and it was like Zen is coming in January, bro. I'd be like, Joyo, bro, I love you so much. Happy birthday, bro. I bought your car. Like, it's gonna
Oh
be
my
so
days.
bad.
That's crazy. I didn't know that it was up. I thought it was just, you know, here's your temporary spot on the team until Zen gets here. But it's
Well, no,
literally-
I don't know who has the power. I'm saying if Zen has the power, then you just got to play well. But if it's like the players get to choose amongst themselves, then yeah, you just need a friend, I guess. Just need one of the other 2 players to like you.
I mean, the only people who know exactly how it works is Vitality, because obviously it's
Yeah.
like rumors and stuff. Like, I haven't spoke to anyone on Vitality, and I don't know exactly how it works, and they probably don't know exactly how it works either. So we're
Joyo,
gonna
you should
decide
be.
in the moment.
Joyo, you've got to like if you're like not interested in like full timing pro, if you want to have some side gigs, you could definitely be Rise's PR manager because you're killing it right now. Like everything you say is like PR, like gold. It's on the money.
I've been trained. I've been media trained. So
Yeah,
Wait,
Rise, if you-
Forstian
if you-
Warrior, Alpha is locked. It is Rado or Sazin. Let ship know.
Forstian-
Wait, is that the
Forstian
same-
Warriors, let us
is that the
know.
same
Oh.
guy?
Oh,
Well,
he
that the guy
knows.
arguing
He's got it
with
figured
me.
out.
Forstian Warrior is the Vitality manager who works
Yeah.
very closely with them.
CEO.
It's actually
This is-
Zen.
this is-
It's Zen's other account.
Yes.
Zen-
Zen's letting us know. It's actually Alpha. Alpha's saying he's locked.
These are the guys that are on the streets, bro. They're getting in. They're doing the groundwork. So
Yeah,
we gotta
man.
we gotta respect these comments. But
The
I don't know.
sources.
At
That
least they
is crazy.
Exet. That's tough.
Hmm?
Someone said at least they won't end up as bad as Exet.
Oh
come
yeah,
on.
what happened to
Oh,
Exet? Like I was thinking to myself, if Exet been like doing really well in scrims or something, because Rapid's talking a whole pile of trash on the timeline, and then they went 0-3, 0-3. Is it a bad result, or was he just like farming the whole time?
Past
I think
two-
Rapid's like trying to revive his career via Twitter.
yeah.
To be honest.
That's
No,
fair,
seriously, like
fair,
Yeah,
fair
yeah.
enough. Fair enough. If that's the case, fair enough. You gotta build a brand.
I rate it.
So you think that's what it is? You don't think that he ever expected to do well?
There's no way. There's no way. It'd be delusion if he thought he was gonna like beat everyone.
Whoa.
I don't know.
Well, it's true. There's
There-
no way that Rapid thought that this would finally be the time where he like, wins everything.
There is actually a stat that was tweeted out. Rapid, ever since he made those tweets, he's gone 0-9 versus NA teams, but he has had 1 win.
Oh yeah, you beat ARG.
Yeah,
And it was
ARG,
versus ARG, the one EU team, rent free in EU's head.
Oh, I'm so sad he didn't qualify, or I'm so sad he didn't run into just any EU players in RLCS. It was kind of sad. They just got eliminated before that could happen, so we didn't get to see the ultimate rivalry.
They went,
Yeah, Rapid owns
Got it,
EU,
man.
so
they went 0-9, right?
So he's got in
Yeah.
EU's head, but he's never going to be able to play EU
Yeah, 'cause
because
he's never-
he can't beat his own region.
Oh
Damn.
yeah, that's the point. To like make the most of being in the opponent's head, you've got to be in the tournament.
I'm pretty sure that was Sizz's strat actually as well. He would just talk so much trash, but he ended up retiring before anybody could make do with anything.
It's like an investment,
Damn.
but then he just like retired before he could take all the gains from the investment.
Exactly.
Oh no. There's always a regional 2 and 3, so it's possible.
Well, maybe not regional 3.
So, yeah.
because-
No, but he's right back to. I don't remember what the tweets were, but he's right back to like talking trash in the timeline again.
Yeah,
No,
I saw
but
that
like-
as well. That was
But like
today, I think.
regional 3, you have to. It's total points. It's split points.
Oh,
so if you
of
don't even
course.
make, you
Okay,
probably
never mind.
have regional 3.
They've got one more chance. All right, this is it.
Yeah, if
You
you,
need to
if you
win
make
regional
both, you
too.
basically lock, which is interesting. It's not guaranteed, but you just have to qualify for both, and having 4 points is like you're basically like top 15. You know, there's only like
No,
one
I
spot
think
left.
you're in. You gotta be in unless like there's some weird. math formula
Unless there's like a
that.
ton of varying results. That's really it.
Which is why, like, Turbos, you know, Dark Zero didn't make it, now top 16, so he needs to have they have a strong performance in Regional 2 to make Regional 3.
Well, if you, I guess you. So, do you get any points at all if you don't qualify, or is it only qualifying gets points?
I don't think you get any.
I'm gonna ask your honest opinion on something.
Yeah.
So players like, for example, the greats themselves, let's say Turbo Pulsar, Violent Panda, K-Dop, Dynasty of Rocket League.
Mm.
Do you think that it's time for these players to like call it quits and
Retire while they have a good reputation.
yeah? So for
Yeah.
example, you were talking about F1 before. Nico Rosberg,
Mhm.
he won the World Championship and instantly retired, leaving
Yeah.
his legacy as
Well,
world champion.
that's a unique. That's a very
Do you
unique
think
situation.
they're sort of tarnishing their names by, like, basically playing until they can't?
Oh well, 100%. If your number one thing that you care about is legacy of how good you are, then yeah, you should retire on top because then everybody will speculate as to how many more you would have won.
Yeah.
So like yeah, if the number one concern is legacy, sure. But if if the main concern is like having an income, a steady income, then maybe no. Like yeah,
Yeah,
I think trying to make as much money as possible for as long as possible is the way to go. If that's the number one goal, I don't think anyone in Rocket League has a pure legacy is the most important thing mentality because it's not lucrative enough in the very short term for anyone to even think about that. You've got to think about like trying to support yourself in the future.
Yeah, I don't think Rocket League's big enough to be able to.
No one could just retire. Well, there's probably a couple people in the Rocket League scene who could retire today and invest everything and then live a very modest life, but
Yeah,
no one's
if
like
they
at
do
the
it right.
sports star where I could just retire now and I'm a millionaire, my kids are millionaires,
Yeah,
and their
yeah.
kids are millionaires. Like it's just not the same.
The thing is, though, like when you watch some of these players, right? Like some of the older players that are still playing, they're ever making like regionals anymore, and they're probably not going to get many or any orgs in the future, and they're still playing. Like it's kind of depressing to watch them because you know that they used to be so good, and they're just.
I know
still
some
playing.
players who keep playing just love competing and they love the game and that's their main thing. Is like they just enjoy the whole process, so they're going to keep doing it as long as they can.
I think
the
Cuxer is
competition's
one
fun.
of those people because
It's a
Cuxer
big respect.
consistently
Cuxer's always loved
he just
that,
signs
yeah.
up. He'll always find a team.
He can make main event though. Like he still can make main event. To be fair to him.
Yeah, he
did it
did.
last season too.
He was making main events and then his team benched him and they never made a main event again.
Yeah, Growly, fraud.
Yeah. I couldn't believe that. They seem like they're on the come up. Like Gurley and Ryan Cux, they seem like they're like actually making progress and getting better. And then they bench Cux and who did they pick up again? I forgot.
They got speed, but
Speed.
Cooks was they didn't bench. It was like a mutual thing. I don't think
Oh, was
Cooks
it?
wanted. Yeah, I don't think Cooks wanted to play unless he got an org. So they were like, okay, we
Oh.
can't get an org.
Please.
Yeah, and
No,
then
no money, no play.
They
That's
will-
Cox's fucking-
and then
That's Cux's motto.
and then they were like, okay, I don't
I
think we
didn't
can
know
get an
that.
org, so we can't play with you. And he's like, okay. And then so they stopped playing with him, and then he got a team straight after anyway without an org.
Yeah,
So-
does he have an org now? I don't think he has an org, does he?
I don't think so.
That's strange because he doesn't have an org. Well, he didn't leave them to go to an org, so that story is missing something. Like there's
Well,
key
yeah, I mean,
information
I got told by someone, and so I don't know how accurate it is from both sides of the story, but that's from what I've heard.
I was ashamed. I thought they were like they looked like they were about to be a top 16 team consistent, like making every regional and finishing low, but still making top 16, which is really good in EU.
When we played them, Cookson was the best on the team, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought they looked good.
Apparently, he's playing with Flakes and Magnus now.
Wow. Is this season
wow.
4?
That's such a random team.
Didn't Magnus do military service and then
Yeah, he
came
did.
back?
Oh, he
after?
did. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's from Finland. So
Yeah,
they
he
have
had to like
they
step
have mandatory
away
service.
because of that.
Does
Well, you
Mets
can,
have to
like-
do that?
You can delay it I think if you're a pro gamer, you can delay it, but you do have to do it at some point. I think Mets has still not done it, but he'll have to do it at some point. And L country, I mean, Finland's got a border with Russia, so I feel like that's a dub for them to have mandatory military service, to be honest. Like, look
Let's
at
not
that.
get into politics, guys.
I don't
Let's not do that.
I'm just talking geography here, no politics. I'm just talking geographical borders,
I mean, I know you can get exempt from certain things, and
You can, yeah.
from what I've heard, Mets has like got some kind of like physical like asthma or something, and if you've got something like that, then you can't do military service.
okay.
Or whatever.
Sorry, I wasn't laughing at that. I was laughing. And this guy said, "Can't wait to see Flake spend 3 days trying to qual without actually challenging a ball."
Just let him give it to you, bro. That was actually, to be fair to him, that was a great strat when everyone just boomed the ball away. But unfortunately, that was like 2000.
Yeah, people
19,
figured out you could
18.
dribble it, and then
It's a
doesn't
good
really
thing
work
to
as
have in your
well.
back pocket, but like the whole idea of like just fake everything is not gonna work, because if you fake everything and people are gonna know you're faking, you gotta be surprising opponents, especially in threes.
Flakes could have been really good. Like I don't think he had this sort of mental when he was like Barcelona, and he was actually good, and then he went off the rails, and then now he's like, I don't know, below mid.
below
Yeah,
mid.
Flakes is a very interesting player because he was a bubble player through and through, and then he took a big break like from the game. And
Yeah.
he came back from his break and he just literally became the best 1v1 player off a break. And then he went pro and in threes and had all his three success at the same time. So he's like, doing all this like good stuff in 1v1, and he's like a really good threes pro. Everybody's like hyping him up. And then he just like I don't know, took more breaks.
Yeah,
so
it
maybe
was
he thought the
super
second break
weird.
would do the same thing.
It was super weird because I remember like he kind of like came out of nowhere to me because I would stream and people would come to my chat and be like, "What do you think of Flake's playstyle?" And I'm like, "What the hell is Flake's playstyle? Like, what does that even mean?" And then eventually I figured it out where it was like the whole fake challenge everything, and I was like, I remember just being like, "Oh yeah, like it won't work." And then he shit on me at a dream hack, but eventually I was right. Took some time, but we got there.
The reason he wouldn't have known is because before he came back as Flakes, his name was Porn Flakes.
Yeah.
And he had a little logo, like a Porn Flakes logo.
That was like
as
the
well.
cornflake little.
It was,
Yeah.
cornflakes with, just, I guess it was edited. Yeah, he was Porn Flakes.
Same
I
with
think that the-
Com's name being communism.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If-
I shouted at him like Major. I said communism.
Oh my! If Flakes had a team of 3 Flakes, how would it go? Because that was like his big thing.
Oh God.
If he just found people that knew how to play the game like him.
Was that his thing?
If I had 3 me's, I
Yeah,
could
that's
win.
what he was saying. The
That's
chat will
my
confirm.
ranked
That's what
motto.
he'd say. He
I
just
mean,
couldn't find a team that wanted to play how he wanted to play.
You gotta have the same like ideology of how to play the game, or you're gonna argue all the time with your teammates. But like 3 people who don't want to challenge ever that surely can't work. No, you need.
I
you
mean,
need
there's
people
a
who are just
reason
gonna
why
watch
no
us.
one wants to play like he does.
Yeah.
He'll never find it.
Good point.
Imagine
he'll-
3 Flakes. So like, no, you go. No. I'm not going. They're all just like backed up behind each other. Like,
Well, and then
just wait.
I think any pro could 1v3 them then, because you just have the ball the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh.
when a Chronic team with him, a Chronic tried to play like that and it didn't work. And now look at a Chronic.
Yeah, playing how he
He's
wants.
really good
you
now.
know,
It doesn't
he's-
work. I feel
yeah,
like
no.
it could work if the pitch was way bigger, but the pitch isn't that big. It's too small.
That'll be Flake's next agenda. The pitch is
Yeah,
too
if
small.
they
in
if they
Rocket
buff
League.
the pitch size, he's gonna come back. He's gonna be on top again. He's been practicing for that forever.
Don't change the pitch. It's fine.
Yeah, don't change the game itself, please. Because then we'll have to learn how to play the game again. And I might be rubbish.
What are you guys' thoughts on this one? Flakes is going to use all this toxicity as motivation and surprise everyone. LOL.
and then he's gonna quit again, and then come back in 3 months, and then play for 3 days, and then quit again.
If that happens, I will give you £10,000.
That sounds like it's Flakes' old account.
Cash in on that before the pound goes down any lower. A quick lock it in.
Take that now.
Very political today, Johnny.
Yeah.
That's not political, is it? The
Yeah,
pound
you're
is
messing with my
is
Rocket League
declining.
The economy and stuff.
No, don't worry. Actually, this Joyo, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this news because actually the Rocket League prize pool is US dollars, so the pound being worse is fine because you get paid in US dollars. So you're just gonna get a raise essentially.
Oh, true.
I mean, I'll take it.
There you go.
Nice.
All right, I think it's about time we do call this and wrap it up. Are there any final closing thoughts from anybody? Questions, concerns?
Oh, I'm bored now. I wanted it to go on longer.
I'm sorry, but we do gotta call it quits at some point.
We got like keep the episodes concise.
Stream Finley, and then get Rizzo to host you.
Yeah,
and
just
then-
go
No, but
stream.
it's more boring talking to myself.
No, you can stream the private call after, where we're
When we
No
say
PR
things
That's
that
that's where
shouldn't
we,
be
that's
that
where we
public.
leak everything.
I think
Oh, yeah, we haven't
I
talked
think
about
we
oxygen.
smashed it. Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, no, that's true. We could save it though, Rizzo, if you're still thinking of what you want to do next week.
Okay, I mean, I am down to keep going. It's just that I have an ad playing in about 4 minutes and 55 seconds. So it's
Nah, call it. We got another episode in a week, and
yeah,
we want
we're
to
gonna-
have like
we're gonna run it
we wanna
back
have
next
topics.
Monday. If you guys want to drop
Yeah.
topics, if CJ's or Johnny's ever streamed, you can drop them there. You can always drop them in my chat. All that stuff we can collect
we're
them all.
doubling up. We're doing another one next week, so
Yeah.
there's
That'll
gonna
be
plenty.
before EU main event as well. So
Too
that'll
much
be
of a good
perfect
thing is a
to-
bad
It'll be
thing. You've
it'll be
gotta know.
after EU quals and then after NA. So after NA regional.
It's
So
gonna be so much, yeah.
there's a bunch of stuff to talk about there.
Quickly,
Yes,
Nolly,
sir.
you've been a bit quiet. Who's your top 5 NA for this season?
It's a good question.
I'd say G2,
Okay.
SSG, FaZe,
Okay.
and then it's sort of a toss up 4 and 5 between like us, V1, Complexity, and Optic.
No Furia.
So
Right.
you wouldn't put
respectable
yourself in
list.
the top 3?
No Furia.
Oh wait, no fear.
No,
Oof.
not for the first major.
Ooh. So you don't think they're making first major?
No, I don't.
Damn.
I mean, it's
It's rough.
controversial. You know, they're gonna adjust. They'll be a lot better next split.
As long as for like the world scenarios, as long as they don't like really do badly this split, it's fine. You can finish 6th, you can finish 7th in the first split. And you're
We
good.
finished joint 9th with 3 teams.
Yeah, you're
so
good. Don't worry about it. This split's
How do you
worth
think they'll
less.
do in this first regional though, Nolly?
Hallelujah.
Huh?
What? Wait, what did you say?
How do you think Furia will do in this regional?
I think 9th or 12th.
Ooh, okay, fair enough. And yeah, wait. So you think, heart of hearts, 100%, your belief? Are you making the first major?
Yeah, I'm doing it no matter what.
that's cold. That's cold.
Not make the major. Like I
Sorry,
just got
your mic cut out.
I just got top 5 to 8 at Worlds, right?
Yeah.
There's no way I'm not making this major.
I like that.
That's cold.
Big up yourself.
Respect that.
It's a
Big
great
ups.
finish.
What an absolute beautiful way to end it. Shout out to
Good
everybody
luck.
in chat who is watching. Shout out to the special guest. Thank you for Rise for joining late and taking over the interviewer role. I really do appreciate
Awesome.
that. And I hope you
Amazing.
guys enjoyed Shotcast number 13. Be back next Monday for episode 14. We'll see you all later. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.